Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Today's episode of UCSS is brought to you by the Cleveland Charge. The Charge tip-off on Friday, November 14th at 7 against the Wisconsin Herd. It's opening night presented by Rocket, and the first 2,000 fans receive a mini-hoop schedule. Tickets are on sale right now at clevelandcharge.com. What's up, guys?
Very good.
What's up?
What's up, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
By the way, last night I was just telling G. Bush and Mike before the show, I got another TV and movie recommendation for everybody.
Oh, here we go.
Just Mercy, starring Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx, came out in 2019.
Wow.
It was awesome. It's on Netflix right now.
That must have been
Great
under
movie.
the radar good one.
I guess so.
I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either. But
that was
it's based on a true story.
Was that pre-COVID?
It was right before COVID. It came out.
Wow.
And it's based on a true story about a man who was wrongly put on death row in Alabama in the 80s. That's Hurricane.
Okay, yeah.
Which
Hurricane
is another great movie.
Phenomenal.
With Denzel Washington.
Yeah, Hurricane.
That was a great movie.
Yes.
This is a similar
plot,
vibe.
not an athlete.
But it's not an athlete, more recent, which is even more disturbing than,
Show Mercy?
Just Mercy.
Just Mercy.
Really good. Also,
Sounds
one of the actors in it is the woman who plays Captain Marvel. I can't think of her real name. She's in it too.
Are you watching The Land? What's it called?
Landman?
Are you watching it?
The second season hasn't started
Tremendous.
yet. Have you seen the first season?
I haven't seen any
I
of
know
it.
you don't watch a lot of TV.
It's been recommended to me 100 times.
I keep seeing it pop up on my...
Definitely one of my, I would say, 5 favorite shows of the last few years.
Oh, wow. So it's that good.
The first season was phenomenal.
Okay.
The second
That's from the folks that did Yellowstone, right?
The same
guy
producer. Did that. He does all those shows that are on Paramount. He just left. He's going to be leaving Paramount.
He's jumping ship.
Yeah, but the second season starts in a couple of weeks, and they've added Sam Elliott to the cast.
Oh.
Awesome, and is a good fit for that
So
show,
he was
too.
not in season 1?
He was not in season 1,
Okay, I keep seeing advertisements with
Right.
him in it, and I'm like, oh, my God, I love Sam Elliott. I've got to watch it.
Billy Bob Thornton's amazing. He's
Yeah,
a great
he's
actor.
tremendous.
That's
Yeah.
a great show. Definitely one of my
Very good.
top 5 recommended shows.
Okay.
What's the premise?
Billy Bob Thornton, it's about the Texas oil industry.
Yeah, when they were first picking their lands?
No. It's modern.
Oh, it's modern. I thought it was set in...
But it's like, who knows how realistic of it all it is. It's not based on a true story.
Okay.
But Billy Bob Thornton is like the fixer guy for the for this one particular oil company.
Okay.
The head of the oil company, this oil company is, the guy from Mad Men, the main guy. Can't think of the actor's name. He's been in a million things.
Mad Men. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Dark-haired guy.
Yeah.
I can see his face.
John Hamm, thank you.
Yeah, John
Yes.
Hamm.
So John Hamm owns this oil company, and
When you say the fixer...
he's like, if there's a problem out in the oil rigs or whatever, like he has to handle it. If drug dealers want to move their drugs through your territory, you got to deal with the drug dealers.
Wow,
So it's all these different things, and then his family is in the mix too, and his ex-wife, who he still has a relationship with, she's like kind of crazy. His daughter is 18. She's the most gorgeous girl you've ever seen. He's dealing with his daughter. Every guy wants to sleep with her. It's a whole thing, and it's really, there's a lot of different storylines.
Who plays his daughter?
I don't know the actor. I've never seen her before.
She's a newcomer.
The one that plays his ex-wife, you may remember, it was the girl from Varsity Blues. If you remember Varsity Blues.
Yes.
Vaguely remember that.
Remember the girl who does the whipped cream bikini?
Yes.
And I hadn't
So
seen
it's her.
I hadn't seen her in years.
Okay.
She's obviously a lot older now. Still gorgeous.
Looks great.
But she plays his, and she's great.
I got to see this.
And then there's a bunch of side characters.
How many episodes were in season 1? 8, 10, 12?
Either 8 or 10. I can't remember now.
I need to see this.
I should binge watch that before 2 drops.
You got to watch the first season.
When does 2 come out? Soon?
Next couple of weeks.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Great
show.
Just in time
Great
for the
show.
holidays.
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
All right, awesome. We love Bull's recommendations. No one knows TV like Bull does. I'm
obsessed.
still
Too
insist
much,
you
too
should
much.
do a television
Yeah.
podcast
I know.
of some kind.
Yeah.
Because people love to talk about these shows.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, that's the wife.
Yeah, that's the wife and daughter.
I do. Oh,
She's still gorgeous.
Yeah, I do remember. I do remember the wife. I do remember the wife from Varsity Blues.
Right.
She's aged gracefully.
She has. She's elegantly beautiful.
She's aged very gracefully.
Right, and that's the daughter. The girl plays his daughter, who's obviously.
I gotta watch this. I used to watch the Roughneck Diaries, where the guys that are on those rigs, the guys who actually drill and rig the whole entire day.
Some of that
was real.
That's real. That was documented.
Not, but you do see some of that.
I love those shows. I love what's the one catch? Deadliest Catch.
Oh, Deadliest Catch. Ice truckers.
When you flip on Deadliest Catch, you're stuck,
man.
Because no matter what part you drop into it, it's like the edge of the seat drama.
Ice Road Truckers.
Ice Road Truckers is another one.
And them dudes be in the wilderness, man. The one got dropped off. Hey, shout out to y'all, man. If it wasn't for white people, I wouldn't have none of this to watch, because we ain't going.
You're not doing those crazy ass.
Because we're not going. Like, if y'all go to space, we just gonna wait till y'all go to space and then figure it out.
Let me know it's safe.
Let me know it. Come on back. And then we'll go. We'll see.
I love the Deadliest Catch, because that literally, honestly, it's some of the roughest weather on the planet. And those guys go out there, and being a boater myself, I think when I'm in 6-foot waves, I'm like, okay, this is peril.
Yeah.
And then I watch that show, and I'm like, no, that's peril.
That's real peril.
And they'd be out there in the middle of the night.
You know what yesterday was, guys?
What's that?
The 50th anniversary of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And I feel like I feel like everybody knows the history of that shipwreck because of Gordon Lightfoot's song.
Right.
There were a lot of guys, 29 died. There were a lot of guys from Northwest Ohio, but I believe one of the higher-ups on the ship was from Bay Village.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there are some Ohio connections to it. And as much as I think Lake Erie is rough, I've seen video of Lake Superior in the November, with the gales of November.
Yeah.
That ain't no joke. Okay?
That might as well be open water. That might as well be the sea.
It might as well be like the Bering Straits.
Because
it looks just like it.
Lake Erie is actually the most shallow, I think.
It's the most shallow, but it is the most volatile because of the shallowness. But Superior, I think, is the deepest. But, man, do they whip up some storms. And this is this huge freighter. Cracked it in half.
Yeah.
Cracked it right in half. Crazy. All right. That was a nice little 7-minute diversion. We didn't have to talk about the Browns or indictments from the Guardians or injuries with the Cavs.
It's funny that you say that, because I went up to the kitchen here at KYC. I won't say what it smelled like in the kitchen.
we got the group got a text that said, "Alert!" All letters. WKYC kitchen smells like, and I won't say what you said.
Right.
But I laughed out loud because it has smelled like that for a while now.
I haven't been up there in a while. So I don't know why it smells that way.
A couple of weeks ago, this was before I went to Florida, someone came back to the newsroom and said, "It smells like we're housing farm animals in the kitchen."
Yeah.
Y'all got some pipe issues? You're good.
I don't know.
I walk in there, I'm like, what the hell?
I don't know what it is, but it smelled. When I went in there, it smelled like a barn.
Yeah.
It literally smelled like a barn.
I was thinking cat litter, but I mean,
it's bad.
Y'all.
So, but then I'm coming back, and I get in the elevator, and this guy's in the elevator, and he was happy to meet me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Joe," blah blah. And we were talking. He's a sales guy upstairs.
Yeah.
And
did you ask him if he smelled it too?
No, I did not get into that. I've totally lost my train of thought of why I brought this story up.
Damn it!
Because he goes to me, because you said it was a nice distraction for the Browns. And as he gets out of the elevator, he says to me,
"Nah, that ain't it."
Bleeping Browns. Like that's what anybody. Nobody can ask. It's like now when I meet everybody, it's just like, bleeping Browns.
I know.
Like they're so angry and so miserable.
It's disgusting.
You can't even walk. People just be walking, stopping you. Like, and it's the first thing they say.
Yeah.
Misery loves company.
And the good thing is, we will talk Browns today, but we're going to start with the Cavs, and we're talking about the Guardians too.
Well, it's bad news though, because somebody's in.
Hey, congratulations, by the way. I see Jameis is going to start for your Giants Sunday.
If Jackson Dart
if he can't make it.
Go, but it's significantly an upgrade over Russell Wilson.
Oh, Russell Wilson.
Absolutely just
boy, did that ship sink in a hurry.
Exactly. So,
oh, my God.
I'm excited to watch Jameis if it comes to that this weekend. But let's dive into some Cavs news, guys, after a quick word from FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. You can even parlay them together for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when their first $5 bet wins. So head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Guys, I sent this question out last night, which was, can the Cavs win anything without Darius Garland? And at about 10:50 this morning, we got an official update from the Cavs on the injury status of Darius Garland. This is what the Cavs sent out regarding their all-star point guard. Quote, Cavaliers guard Darius Garland injured his great left toe during Monday night's game at Miami. Further evaluation post-game and Tuesday by the Cavaliers medical team revealed a contusion. The incident occurred during the second quarter when Garland made incidental contact with Heat forward Nikola Jovic on a drive to the basket. Garland will receive daily treatment and continue with the established post-surgery management plan. He is listed as out for tonight's game in Miami, and his return to play availability will be updated as appropriate. So it's a left toe contusion.
Yeah. By the way,
no
first of
word
all,
on when he'll come back, and I know Bull's going to get mad at them calling it the great toe.
Number one, I'm mad that you're 100% right. You know me very well, Mike. Nobody calls it the great toe. Everybody says big toe. Jay, do you say great toe?
Never heard that.
Ever said that in your life?
I never even heard it until just now.
Never. I've never heard anybody call it.
It was the first time Garland hurt his toe, and they called it the great toe.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
So what are the other ones? What's the little one?
The mid.
The worst toe?
The mid toe.
Yeah.
And then you've got the mid toe, which would be the
useless
one
toe?
in the middle.
Yeah.
And then the second toe, which for some reason is oddly longer than the great toe.
Right.
What is that one called? Pretty good toe?
Solid toe?
Solid toe. I don't know.
And then the baby toe that just don't do nothing.
Nothing.
No,
it's
it's the worst toe.
The perpetual, it's just like children. The last one.
But another thing,
forgotten toe.
Right.
How is there a player in the NBA named Nikola Jovic instead of Jokic?
Yeah, when I saw
Where'd
that,
this
I'm
guy
like,
come
hey.
from? He's got the same name, basically.
One letter different.
He's very good friends with Jokic. They both play for the same
Imagine
international
that.
team. And he just signed his rookie extension. He actually just got paid more
for
than
him.
he probably should.
Yeah, that is
so.
good.
Okay.
Good,
Not
good,
a nobody,
good.
but
Yeah.
Jay, you and I were talking right before we went on air about toe injuries, and my big concern with Darius is even if this is just a contusion, I'm worried this is going to be a chronic issue moving forward. And
Yeah.
I have no information on that. Just he took his time, they rested, he came back, tested it, and he's already hurt again.
Yeah, I will tell you as I'm awaiting surgery on my right great toe, and really all of my toes. So I have my plantar plate has torn from whatever it's supposed to be connected to. I don't even fully understand it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you guys this. My surgeon, in explaining the surgery, has said, look, this isn't like the knee or the arm or a normal surgery where we know with certainty that we're going to go in and we're going to fix it, and with the proper rehab, it will be 100%. Mm-hmm. They can say that with knees, with certain injuries, they can say that with great certainty. That isn't the case with this. And they've warned me, and it's multiple times now, they've said, look, there is a risk that this never feels the way it used to. We want to kind of lower the bar for your expectations. And I believe that my injury is very similar to his in that mine is from pushing off the rubber countless times on the pitcher's mound. 50,000, 75,000 times, I have no idea. However many pitches I've thrown in my lifetime. It's just a repetitive use injury that finally it reaches its breaking point and it goes. So just based on the warnings that I've received, and that look, this may not be a thing where it's pain free. There's always nerves. You were talking about some nerve damage that you've had in your foot. Man, when you have that nerve damage, you wait for it to return, and sometimes it never does. So I don't know, Mike. I can't speak to this specific injury, but just based on what I'm being told and how I should temper my expectations on return, I'm wondering if this isn't the same thing. I remember talking to Brad Daugherty, who famously had feet issues, and he used to say, look, it's come a long way from when he was going through this many, many, many years ago, but it's still not perfect. So my fear is that this could be one of those lingering things that he's just prone to re-aggravate. I do know that they put all kinds of things in my shoe, all kinds of things, particularly my baseball spike, to protect it when I'm playing. But it does a little bit, but I can see how that can happen. When you're a point guard and you rely on the push, start, stop as much as they do, Mike, you know about the wear and tear that the feet take as well as anybody. It is a lot.
And here's the thing, Jay, I mean, you're almost 60. So, like,
I am
it's
60.
not that oh, that's right. You turned 60.
I turned 60 in July.
It's not like at your age, you're going to have these things.
Wear
right?
and tear. Sure. He's a young man.
He's a young man. And we're not, like, even when you see this in the NBA, it's usually big guys like Brad Daugherty that have the feet problem. Yao Ming had feet problems. It was all these big guys. What's his name? Greg Oden had feet problems.
It's typically a problematic with big men because those poor little feet, even though they're size 14 or whatever, you're supporting a ton of weight.
Yeah, and like, you know, for him, his game is all about his speed, his athletic ability.
Quickness.
If his athletic ability decreases a little bit going forward because of his toe issues, that's huge.
What does he look like as a player? We don't know.
You know, so you go back and you look at it. I've had a pin put in my toe that went through the top to the growth plate. And even once I had it, you know, I had that surgery when I was like 11, 12.
Oh, wow.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I had that, and then I had turf toe in that same toe.
That's painful.
And so, you know, it was, you know, and think about it, I still played. When you young, you stupid. Like I still played. Like, I was just like, all right, cool. Like, let's keep it pushing. But when you have those little injuries, sometimes you just never heal right. Like, you don't understand that you lose 15, 20%. And then, you know, the thing that hit me when I was growing up was it got to a point where it did hit me like, oh, so this is not coming back. Oh, the days of you just waking up and just going and playing freely and you don't have to think about it.
With no pain.
With no pain.
Yeah.
The most debilitating thing to most people that are athletes that are really good at a high level, I'm talking about top 1%, top 2%, and these guys are, is that it almost kills your soul and your spirit because you remember what it used to feel like to be able to go play pain-free and just to react. Now, you got to think because your nerves ain't firing the way they used to. Yeah. Your body don't feel the same. You got to do all this treatment just to get it back to 85%. And now in the back of his mind, I watched that clip. That looks like a non-contact injury. Didn't nobody step on his foot? Nobody hit.
It was pressure.
It was just
pressure.
It was the torque and pressure. And to run, people don't get it. These guys look like they're moving slow. These guys, if you were ever to get out on the court with this, and McNuggets, you know this.
Oh my God.
When you start talking about Division I athletes or pro athletes, and I've had the opportunity to play basketball with guys who played overseas or came back to play in the league. The level at which they are moving is crazy, and you just don't understand the speed of the game. So when he's moving like that, he's putting thousands of pounds of pressure on those small little joints, those tendons, and that's the scary part.
Thousands of times every night.
Every night.
Every step you take.
Every night.
He knew when I was watching the game, that right there. When he pounded the floor, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Mike, you know what that is. Anybody that's ever suffered an injury a second time, when you re-tear your ACL, you don't have to guess. I know what that was.
And you don't even feel the pain, really. It's the
happens. Boom.
And it's the frustration that hits you in the head. You like,
how long is this going to sideline me for?
I just got done doing this. I can't do this no more.
He had the surgery when? Do you remember? Was it?
Yeah, about a month after they lost to the
June, maybe?
Pacers. Yeah, in June.
I was trying to think. I didn't know if it was May or June. But
and that was the second time he heard it.
Yeah, either way, he did the proper rehab. I remember initially, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought initially the report was he was going to be benched until December. I thought that's what we reported.
That's what I thought. Mike said no.
See, they gave a range. He came back right in the determined range. It would have been December if it was the longest part of the range, and it would have been earlier.
I know
if
this
is,
hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah.
And we have the benefit of the results now to help us with this decision that should have been made prior. For me, why do we need him back before January?
I can't disagree with that part.
We don't.
We don't.
Like, if they tell me 2 to 4 months, I'm going to say, and this is hard because, like you said, we're dumb. Mm-hmm. You know, I just went down and played baseball for a week in Florida, and I was told by my hip guy, don't do it. Don't do it.
And then you paid for it
and
on the way back.
The whole time. Like, I had an episode where my leg gave out, and now I'm in way more pain than I was before. And thankfully, surgery's coming very, very soon. But we're dumb. We blocked that part out. If the training staff and the team should have got together and said 2 to 4, why don't we do 6? You got the time.
Yeah.
June takes you to January, okay? And so where are they without Darius Garland? They're above 500 team for sure, and they're in the playoff mix. We didn't need it. Now he might be sidelined until March or April.
Even without him, they still might be the second or third best team in the East.
I agree with that, Mike. That's not a stretch, is it?
No. So why? At this point, I know if it's just a contusion, obviously that's not that big a deal. But it's a bigger deal than most contusions because it's the third time he's injured this same toe.
Right. I agree.
And so I agree with you. Right now, whatever his timetable is, add another month.
Yeah, just be safe.
Yeah.
Be
over the top.
You said it landed in the middle of whatever the range was.
No, I don't want that.
I'm going to err on the side of caution, and I'm going to say if they told me December, I'm going to say you can play January 10th. Let's just arbitrarily pick a day, January 10th, and
By the
get
way,
it right.
On a separate note, I think we need to compile a list of all the surgeries that you and G. Bush have had.
Oh my God! I counted them.
How many body parts would we not cover?
Yeah, I counted them. I've had 9, and I have 2 upcoming in the next month.
So that'll be 11 for you.
So that will be
How many
11
have
for
you
me.
had?
I don't. If you count the scopes, it's way more. But
I didn't count scopes.
Okay, I
counted like cuts.
17.
You've had 17 surgeries?
God.
Yeah,
so that'll be 28 between you once you have the next 2.
And I started when I was like 9 or 10.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you got all these back and neck issues.
So,
which
For a 9 or 10-year-old to have surgery is alarming.
Yeah.
I remember when my son was pitching, and this was in Florida when you didn't take a break. He pitched 12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And I kept telling him, you're going to break your growth plate. All they want to do is throw the hook.
Mm-hmm.
And I would see him warming up before games and playing on the side with the kids, and I can see him trying to roll the wrist.
Yeah.
And I told him, Corey, there's a way to throw a curveball without using your wrist and your elbow. And when the time is right, I will teach you that. Well, his best friend broke his growth plate at 11.
Mm-hmm.
Corey broke it 3 weeks later. And now he's in a cast, and they said, look, it's one of those situations where it should heal and you should be fine.
Right.
The one thing we don't want to do is surgery. You never want to do surgery on young kids. They're not done growing.
Yeah.
And so those surgeries, probably led to you having more surgeries later in life.
I ran to a swimming pool and broke my growth plate in my big toe. And so they were so basically I hit it, and when I hit it in the corner in the joint, like my toe was bent like this, like it was like the bone was broke. It was almost detached.
Oh my!
And so it was all. So they had to put a steel rod in it.
Never been right, I bet.
And they were like, "Listen, we can't guarantee." That's why I be telling them. They told my parents, "We can't guarantee." He plays sports. We cannot guarantee that his growth plate is ever going to be right in that toe.
It's
and So
I had to take
God.
Aaron to physical therapy last week because he did something to his back, and I'm like, oh my God, hope he doesn't have back problems at 12 years old.
That's early for that. By the way, I saw the text yesterday that he's going to wrestle.
Yeah.
And swimming, for my experience.
Yeah.
And G, maybe you could weigh in on this. I did everything when I was a kid. Obviously, football, baseball, basketball, wrestling, everything. No matter what it was, I wanted to do it. In my experience, where I experienced the most personal growth, and I'm not talking about athletically.
Yeah.
I'm talking about personal growth.
Yeah.
And it's unquestioned for me, wrestling.
Well,
not even close.
I'm very excited about
personal accountability.
I know the head coach and the assistant coach. Because the head coach also coaches Little League, so I've known him for many years, and my son and his son are friends.
Great.
And the assistant coach for the wrestling team, his son was on my Little League team a few years ago, so I know both the coaches. They're really good guys. They'll teach all these great lessons. I'm very excited
If
about
I could give you 2 pieces of advice, I tell all wrestling parents this when they start. Do not let him cut weight. Do not let him cut weight.
No.
And I know now he says no. When I started, 8, 9, 10 years old, I didn't cut weight. What are you talking about? I can't gain weight. But when you get into the higher levels and you're in high school and you're wrestling at 119, and you're looking at the 112-pounders going, I'd mop those guys up. I'd kill all of them.
Right, yeah.
Then you get this, and you say, wow, I'm having success. I'm moving along. I'm doing well. Who knows what the sky could be? The limit would go off if I could just drop 7 pounds and get to 112.
Right.
Be very careful of that. And always, fast rule, if his wrestling shoes are touching the mat, he has to have the headgear on and strapped.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you don't want the cauliflower ear.
No, definitely not. He's in for middle school. one of the weight classes is 128. That's what he's going to be wrestling at to start. He weighs 127.6 right now.
Perfect.
And what they do, I don't know if this is a new thing. I like this. So, they practice now and the meets start in December.
Yeah.
But on Christmas or around Christmas, they all wait. You get a 2 pound.
Yeah.
That's always been the case?
That's always been the case.
I like that.
Yep.
So
I like it too
lets
because
them grow a little.
The holidays, especially for the bigger weight classes.
Right.
You need that extra pound or 2, whatever they give you, because, you tend to indulge a little bit more over Thanksgiving.
Right.
And
But
Christmas,
he is in such good. I'm excited because, I was thin when I was very young, but by the time I was halfway through middle school, I started getting heavier.
Yeah.
And he's gone the opposite. He is the swimming has
burns the calories.
Now, eventually, when he gets to high school, he's going to have to choose between swimming and wrestling.
He will,
because it's the
at the
same
same
season.
time, yeah.
But for 2 years, he'll get to do both. So
it's good though. He'll get to pick which one he likes more.
Yeah. And now the football coach is sniffing around him.
I love it
because they think he could be a good offensive lineman.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Lifetime of athletics is a lifetime of just pure enjoyment.
Awesome, guys. Let's get to our next topic. It's brought to us by the Cleveland Charge. Experience Charge basketball at Public Hall this season. The Cleveland Charge, the NBA G League affiliate of the Cavaliers, are back in action for their 5th season with Cleveland, with Charge alumni like Dean Wade and Sam Merrill, and two-way players like Naquan Tomlin and Luke Travers, showing the NBA the G League is the home to future stars at the highest level. Charge basketball is the best option for affordable family fun in the land, with fan giveaways, exciting theme nights, post-game player autographs, and more. The Charge tip off their home opener Friday, November 14th at 7 p.m. against the Wisconsin Herd. It is opening night presented by Rocket, and the first 2,000 fans receive a mini hoop schedule. Tickets are on sale right now at clevelandcharge.com. I'll be there, so come over and say what's up.
Is that a new logo?
It is a new logo.
It's
they have
cool.
new
I like
uniforms, a new arena, a new court.
I like that.
Oh, they're not playing the same place they played last year?
Well, they moved from Wolfstein Center to Rocket Arena for a few games. Now they're at Public Hall, which is the
right. But they were there last year,
yeah,
weren't
exactly. But they changed the court, like a brand new court.
Oh, cool.
To feature the new
I
logo.
want to go, Mike. Can you get me tickets or what?
On Friday?
Well, no, I don't know. No, I can't go Friday, but I would like to go.
Yeah, anytime you need tickets at Charge, I got you.
All right, cool.
That is easy. All right, guys. Jay, you actually put this in the group chat yesterday, and I was going to do it. So I'm going to let you start on this first one. But we're going to run Paul Depodesta's comments about the Browns through the BS translator. If anyone missed it, Paul Depodesta had his first press conference with the Colorado Rockies yesterday. And he was asked about the Deshaun Watson trade and leaving baseball to go to football and then coming back to baseball. So I picked 2 of these comments. We're going to put them through the BS translator, see what we can figure out what Paul Depodesta really meant. This was on going to football and then leaving football to go back to baseball. Paul Depodesta said this, and I quote, "I didn't have any immediate plans, obviously, to come back to baseball. I knew it was going to take me a while to get my sea legs in the NFL. I wasn't going to be like a 2-year thing. I was starting from ground zero. I mean, I knew nothing, so I was going to have to dedicate some real years to it." He went on to say, "But if you know your first love, you kind of always have that in the back of your mind, and there are certain situations in baseball that I've always just been really intrigued by. I thought, boy, if those were to ever come available, that would be pretty intriguing, and so this was one of those," end quote.
Yeah, which is hilarious because the Rockies are the worst franchise in baseball by far.
He went from the worst in football to the worst in baseball.
Right. I mean, I was actually debating with somebody the other day, what's a worse franchise, the Browns or the Rockies? And ultimately, we decided the Rockies was the worst franchise.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. Wasn't the Rockies just in the World Series?
Not that long ago. Now,
Well, it was long enough.
look, what was it, like 20 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2008.
Yeah. So, yes, over the last 25 years, the Rockies have probably had more success than the Browns.
Yeah.
I was just
I'm
saying.
talking about current state.
Current state.
Current state.
I said the Rockies.
Yeah.
I agreed that the Rockies were like the Rockies. I think as bad as the White Sox were the year before, I think last year's Rocky team was the worst team I've ever seen.
Well, they caught fire.
Yeah.
They got warm late,
Yeah.
which kept them from
Right.
surpassing the record that was just
but
set.
if you look at like point run differential, it was
abysmal.
crazy.
They were losing. They lost some games like 22-4.
Yeah, they're
like those are little league embarrassments.
They are horrible.
This guy, see, this is what I always say. Beware of Ivy League dudes who do this stuff, man. Like, they know exactly what they're doing. They be bouncing from place to place, cashing checks, right? Like, he's like, think about this.
Yeah.
In what world I'm just asking everybody, chat, what world out there, in what universe could I or you go into an industry that you have no clue about
and be the top
no
executive,
experience,
right?
and be the top executive? It's like me. It's like me going to NASA.
G, I'm glad you pointed that out, Steve. Pull this back.
You got to find a sucker.
Yeah.
And he found one.
Jimmy.
Part of the quote that stood out to me the most.
Yeah, that he knew nothing.
I mean, I knew nothing.
I like the part about getting his sea legs.
I knew he said, this is his words, not mine. I did not make this up. This is not AI. You can go find the actual press conference. He was hired to be the chief strategy officer of the Cleveland Browns. And G, do you want to read that real quick? That third to bottom line.
Listen, I got to start with I got to get to the whole thing. I didn't have immediate plans, obviously, to come back to baseball. I knew it was going to take me a while to get my sea legs in the NFL.
Yeah, come here. We got time.
I wasn't going to be like a 2-year thing. I was starting from ground zero.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew nothing. So I was going to have to dedicate some real years to it. Yeah. Well, let me go ahead. It's so easy a caveman can do it. I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express. So let me go out. Let me see. You know what? People want to go, hey, Elon Musk, I ain't got no rocket experience. But let me show you how I could get you to Mars in not 6 months without any math. I could just do it and pull up on you tomorrow. Tell your engineers and all the scientists and the chemical rocket guys, I don't really know nothing about what's going on, but let me tell you what. I do wear nice clothes, and I know about the Cleveland Browns dysfunction. Go ahead and make me your top guy. Who said, in what universe could this happen?
Well, as Jay said, he found a sucker. He found a sucker in Jimmy Haslam.
Jimmy was the sucker.
It's crazy if you think about that. First of all, part of the reason he left baseball is because nobody else wanted him in baseball at the time.
Fact.
And he was the third choice of the worst team in the league, even at this point.
Yeah.
And guys around the league were shocked that he got this job. There was a lot of surprise.
And why is it intriguing? What do you mean it's intriguing?
There's nothing intriguing about it. You wanted to get back to baseball. All right, fine.
So what he wants is a continued paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he wants.
Right.
And he knew that he had worn his welcome out with the Browns.
Yeah.
I do believe that, and God, I hope a book is written. I hope somebody does the deep dive on last year's draft.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I have opined on this show that I think last year Paul Depodesta was kicked out of the room.
Yep.
I believe that. Why? Because they got a number of the picks right.
Yeah.
As opposed to go back and look at all the drafts that he's been here for.
Them other drafts that he was here, the Anthony Schwartz stuff.
Listen, who knows? I don't believe that personally because that, to me, takes Andrew Berry off the hook, like he was being stopped. I think Andrew Berry is in lockstep with Paul Depodesta.
Well, here's the thing, and I told this to someone yesterday. If Andrew Berry keeps his job, and there is a world, by the way, where that happens. If Andrew Berry keeps his job, it's because Jimmy Haslam knows that Andrew Berry was handcuffed for his first couple of years.
Yeah. Right.
And then Andrew said, okay, let's make a controllable experiment here. I'm going to take Paul out of the draft room.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Andrew, it's yours. You got 1 year, brother. Get it right.
Make it work.
So to me, if Andrew Berry keeps his job, my theory is closer to me to being proven true. Because only Jimmy knows. I found it fascinating, you guys, that Paul Depodesta, sat in front of the Colorado Rockies media in Denver. I think he had no choice.
Right.
Management said, we're going to introduce you to the media, and he didn't say, I want to hide in San Diego. They said, no, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
We're transparent. You're going to sit in front of the media, and you're going to answer their questions.
Right.
So we finally got his answer to the Deshaun Watson.
Well, that's where we're going
next.
next.
Well, before you do that, there's one other thing I want to comment on that.
Please.
Because there's always, we don't know for sure how involved he was with football decisions. We could speculate.
Sure.
But we don't know for sure, what was it a 10? Was it a 1?
But he did say on the Watson thing, it was very much me.
Right. But, okay, that's fine. So that gives you some clarity. But also, when he says, I knew nothing, right? I had a lot to learn.
Yeah.
That tells me there was at least a decent amount of involvement. Because if he was just there to structure the organization, he wouldn't need to know football necessarily.
He wouldn't.
Right? If you have a lot of teams will have the president of the organization who's in charge of sales, who's in charge of tickets, whatever. Those guys don't have to know baseball or football. No. They have to know business. They have to know how to make budgets, whatever like that. If that was what he was doing, who cares if you know football or not? But clearly he was on some level May not have been 100%, but on some level, he was involved in football decisions.
Jay, have you ever, see, I know this to happen to you. Have you ever, because when you start moving up the ranks, you start meeting people from all different walks of life. Have you ever had somebody that you knew that when you met them in the beginning, they talk a real good game, you're like, hey, this guy's a sharp guy.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it goes on, you meet somebody new. And then you start to get to know this new person, and do you start to realize, well, this guy's connected, this guy knows his stuff. And then you start to talk, and you start to see that the person you knew first didn't have a clue. And the guy that you just met, who you see the dividends, who you see his network, you see what he's done, he comes up and says, yeah, I mean, he's a cool dude, but look for this, and this.
Yeah, so to answer your question, G, yes, but there's two things that happen. Sometimes that person exposes themselves.
Yeah.
Particularly when you're dealing with a space that you know intimately. Bull, if you met a radio executive, you would be able to spot the imposter from the real deal in a very short period of time. Very short.
Yeah.
You'd start having conversations. You'd talk about experience, where you've been, what you've done, what you see, theories, philosophies, and in a very, very short order, the imposter flags start popping up in your brain.
Oh, you posing.
Now, you're a poser.
Yeah.
Now, so with Paul Depodesta, the thing that has always blown my mind about him is the fact that he came from a completely different industry.
Right.
Sports related, but that's where the comparisons and similarities end between football and baseball. You know that.
Of course.
But particularly when it comes to roster structuring, his star rose with the movie Moneyball.
That's crazy.
And I know you liked the movie. The movie itself was entertaining.
It's entertaining. It was not realistic.
As far as Moneyball being an actual realistic, true to life account of what happened, it couldn't have been more further from the truth. I watched it as a screener when it was coming out and we were going to do big things with it at ESPN. And I watched it before it ever hit theaters. And all I could think of was, God dang, this thing is not factually correct. They never mentioned the name Miguel Tejada.
Right.
An MVP. Well, you saw the back of his jersey once.
Right.
This guy was a shortstop, an MVP.
And they're 3 Cy Young level
They're
pitchers.
3 Cy Young caliber stars.
I think they mentioned Eric Chavez once.
I didn't count, but like in just watching it, I'm going, okay, what about this Atlanta Braves-esque pitching staff
that you got?
And they never mentioned it. And what they focused on was Scott Hatteberg, who was the guy that baseball had determined.
Chad Bradford.
Yes. Baseball had decided, he's like a journeyman. He's like, it doesn't bring a lot to the table. But Jonah Hill, in his infinite wisdom, and Brad Pitt, those were the guys that played Paul Depodesta and Billy Beane. They decided, he does get on base a lot, and there's something here. And then he had one big hit in the season, and they focused that with the big crescendo music and the carrying off on the shoulder scene. And at the end of the movie, this was the part where I was just like rolling my eyes. I'm like, I'm done with this. Although the A's never managed to win an American League title.
Oh, the end scripting.
The Boston Red Sox, using the same Moneyball tactics, went on to break their 75-year curse and win a World Series in 2003 or whatever.
They had the biggest bag in the world.
And I just thought, oh my God, their salary that year was over $200 million, which is now like $300 million.
They were loaded.
They were loaded with talent. Now, did they employ some of the similar things? Yes, they did. Of course they did. This was the front edge of analytics and its integration into baseball. And so, the Red Sox had used some of that, but to put these guys up on pedestals and say, like, they've recreated sports, and Jimmy Haslam saw the movie, and he got carried away with the big, exciting music and the, hey, I like that guy, and then he met him somewhere at a dinner party.
So he was influenced by 2 movies, that and Draft Day, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's talk about the football side.
I'm just going to read what I read to you, what I sent to the group yesterday on the BS translator, if you let me. You want me to do that?
Yeah, and then we'll get to the Watson one.
Okay, so this was, when his quotes came out, I was going crazy upstairs. So here's what I wrote. I said to the guys, I ran his comments through the BS translator. Here's what he said. My ass was cooked in Cleveland. They found me out to be the fraud I am. Jimmy wasn't buying my expletive anymore. So I knew I was about to get bleep canned.
Yep.
So it was time to find another sucker. Hello, Colorado.
Exactly.
Ever see Moneyball? That's
it.
what this and the crazy thing is, he's found another sucker.
Yeah.
Let's get to his Deshaun Watson quote. Before we get to the Deshaun Watson quote, today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. As the days get shorter, nights come earlier, it can start to feel a little heavier, especially when life is already packed with work, family, and everything else. This season, it's important to reach out and check in with family, friends, or even yourself. And checking in on a teammate or reconnecting with someone you haven't seen in a while can lift your spirits. Reaching out for therapy can make a real difference, too. BetterHelp makes that first step easier by connecting you with a licensed therapist from wherever you are. This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it simple to take that first step. UCSS listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/LockedOn. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOn. All right, this is what Paul Depodesta had to say about Deshaun Watson and the trade that brought him to Cleveland. Quote, here's what I would say, and I truly believe this. I believe that most decisions, especially the big ones like that, are organizational decisions, right? I'm not a believer in the King Scout situation where there is one guy who makes every call. The jobs are too complex. The decisions are too hard. They impact too many different things. So I always think these are sort of collective decisions. It can be hard to get unanimous opinions on those type of things. Everyone who is a part of that, we all own that. We just do. That's part of the deal. End quote. Gee, what do you make of that?
That's called what we call spreading the blame.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really take the blame.
I think
certainly not.
I think he just said, "Hey, organizational. Hey, look, this was very unpopular. I do not want to go into my new job having other people think that I was the main culprit in making this deal." You know, when you look at his statements, it just goes to show you that when he said the King Scout thing, that tells me more about what he thought about Dorsey.
That's exactly what I said, G. That's why Dorsey's gone. He lost the power struggle with
I don't
Paul
believe in
Depodesta.
King Scout.
Who would you like to have back?
Dorsey. I take him because Dorsey is telling him, oh, the guys that you guys have now that are still decent, those were my picks. And he was like, well, listen, we need to be more collaborative. And Jason has said it. They was kicking him out the room. And by the way, they were right to kick him out of the room. He just told you in the last paragraph that he had ground zero knowledge and didn't know a thing. And yet and still, this is the guy I'm going to go back and talk to about quarterbacks and who. I done forgot more than you ever knew about football. What are we talking? Yeah, you got to get out, bro.
Yeah,
that's
especially then when that's when he first started.
That's when he started.
So like he really knew. He
And I
literally
think,
knew nothing.
G, if you go back and look at his tenure here, I think early on he kind of slow rolled it. You know, he realized that, look, I don't know everything, so he stayed in the background. And I think, G, you nailed it. When I read that, I said, oh, King Scout, take those two words out.
Yeah.
That's John Dorsey.
Yep.
That's exactly who that is.
Yeah.
And we knew at the time there was a serious power struggle going on inside the building. And it was clear the winner of that power struggle was Paul Depodesta. If you look at the draft picks in his tenure, we had a lot of hits early in his tenure when it was John Dorsey.
Yep.
And then once John was thrown out of the room, King Scout, you're not allowed in here.
Where these hits come
And Jimmy said, you're the guy. You're the guy, Paul. Make me the Oakland A's. Okay, then it's all him. And I think, again, this is a theory, I think that we know what that batch of draft picks was. When he was in charge and Dorsey was out of the building, we've got a collection of absolute fails in our drafts.
Yeah.
And I think in Jimmy is so well-intended, guys. Jimmy's not intentionally screwing this up. Jimmy wants to win more than anybody because his name is the one getting slandered and thrown through the mud here. I think Jimmy, finally, the clarity has hit him. Well, we were not bad when Dorsey was making the picks. And when the new King Scout came in and started telling everybody who we were going to draft, we went in the tank. And last year, I empowered Andrew, this is your draft. Make it a good one.
Yeah.
And I know you disagree with that, Bull, but and I don't know that we'll ever find out.
We won't, but to me, that just puts all the blame on Depodesta, and that would be great if that were the case, but I just don't buy that.
I think he's I've sat here in this chair for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I've said outside of Jimmy Haslam, the single biggest person to blame for this train wreck is the boogeyman. We named him the boogeyman because we don't know what he does.
I just think Andrew Bury's as much to blame as Depodesta.
I don't know. We'll find out if Andrew keeps his job. To me, that just solidifies my theory. Because he got this last draft. Someone got this last draft right.
I think,
and Paul Depodesta's leaving the organization. Why? He saw these draft picks that Andrew picked, not him. He saw them hit, and he's like, oh, hell, I got to find a new sucker.
I think what happened was, I agree with that. I look at it, your chief strategy officer, you look at those drafts, and you can look to the fingerprint. And they gave Andrew Berry opportunity. That is the reason why Kevin Stefanski is at the place he's at. Because the one thing that Kevin Stefanski had, and the power he wanted, he said, well, listen, I get to pick who I want to pick. I'm going to pick my quarterback. I'm going to put him on the team. He chose Dylan Gabriel. That was his move. Now, the problem is, where did Shedeur Sanders come into play?
Yeah, well,
whose move was that?
They still behaved like they always behaved. Yes, they've gotten some picks right for the first time in a while, but trading down in the first round was typical Browns behavior. All these trades.
I think that was a good move.
Well, we'll see in the long run how good Mason Graham is. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Hunter has been...
he's hurt.
But, I know, but he wasn't great before that.
I hear you, but you didn't have to take Travis Hunter. There were other options, too. You didn't have to
but I
down.
think, I mean, maybe I'm misremembering it. To me, the big decision was, are you going to take Travis Hunter, or are you going to move down from that pick?
I just don't buy that all of a sudden. Andrew Berry, everything we know about him leads me to believe that he's in lockstep with Paul Depodesta. There's no reason to believe otherwise.
We were told that, but let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you come into a radio station and you know that your predecessor was bounced out by the station manager because they didn't agree, doesn't that change the way you approach your job and the station manager?
Sure,
that's a good point.
Andrew Berry, what we know about him, he's in the mold of Paul Depodesta, where he's all about the analytics, as far as I know.
Yeah,
I have never, when I've worked in radio, not one program director I've had ever spent time on the air. That makes a difference. That makes a difference to me. They come from a different perspective.
I know, but I only use that analogy, Bull, because I would say that during my career, particularly when I was younger in my career and felt less secure in either my ability or my position at the station, I watched people move. And I saw what people that were no longer with the company, what they did, what were their moves that got them bounced.
It's the chess move.
And I think that, well, it's human nature, it's survival, and I think that I don't think it's a big surprise why John Dorsey got bounced.
In the end,
he got big-footed by.
In the end,
Paul Depodesta.
We don't know what happened. We don't know if this is changing.
But again,
it's just speculation.
And that's
I agree with you on the front end that I give John Dorsey credit and Paul Depodesta no credit for what John Dorsey did. Now, what he did wasn't perfect.
I know, but wouldn't you agree that once Dorsey was run out of the organization, that's when our drafts went to hell?
That is correct. I blame the combination, for me, I blame the combination of Depodesta and Berry for that. I don't separate one from the other.
Now, here, the reason why...
We'll never know. I wish we would.
We'll never know, yeah.
I wish we would.
He's the GM.
We'll see what the separation is, because Depodesta, I wholeheartedly believe that they told him thanks but no thanks. I'm gonna give you a common courtesy to go find another job. Now, if you look at it, think about it like this: if they were out on Andrew Berry, or say for instance the organization didn't like Andrew Berry, they would have never given him permission to do two things: get rid of Joe Flacco in the middle of the season, or say I'm gonna draft Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I'm still not sure, G and Bull. I'm still not sure who made that call. To me,
Shedeur?
Yeah, to me, it has the fingerprints of Jimmy Haslam on it. I just believe because the organization was in public lockstep on one thing, Shedeur wasn't our guy. I mean, they made that very, very clear. And that's why when they ended up drafting him, I immediately said, oh, here's the drama for 2025.
Yeah.
You always have to have it, and it's self-inflicted. And I believe, and again, we won't know because no one in this organization ever gives us any true, straightforward answers. But the pointed question I would ask to Kevin and Andrew and Jimmy, and maybe Paul could give you some light on this. Ask all three of them who made the call on Shedeur, because the night before, when he still wasn't taken, they were publicly in lockstep that we're not going to take him.
So let me give you this.
And then someone enters the room and says, you're going to take him.
Really quick, this makes sense. So say, for instance, if this whole thing is happening and Jimmy Haslam is looking at Paul Depodesta and saying, you know what, I'm kind of out on this, right?
I'm going to put you on ice and give Andrew some power.
I'm kind of out on you a little bit. If they're looking at the statistical categories and everything that they said about the supercomputer, Dylan Gabriel is smart, he does this, boom, boom, boom. If that is the guy that they wanted and Kevin said, I want this guy, guess what? If you're a smart owner, you hedge the bet. Because you're looking at Depodesta like, I don't even know if I trust you. I think I'm leaning towards getting rid of you, and that's your pick. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Let me hedge my bet. Hey, AB. They drafted Dylan Gabriel. That's cool. I don't know if that's going to pan out or work out. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to, because they had to move up back in to get him.
They did.
I want to hedge my bet. If that don't work out, I can always move and see which one of this is going to be. So now it's a setup. Now we're looking at it. I'm going to see what Dylan Gabriel is doing and who picked him. I'm also going to see what Shedeur Sanders is doing and who picked him. Which one was correct?
The flaw in your argument, though, is you said if I were a smart owner, and we know Jimmy's not a smart owner.
Not. No, but what G is saying makes sense in that Jimmy's looking at, well, I can basically get a first-round pick. There were guys that, again, Mel Kiper's been doing this a long time. I trust Mel. He said he had the highest quarterback rate of anybody coming out. So if I can understand Jimmy's infatuation with Shedeur, and also, it wasn't a value here, it wasn't a value here, but God, if I can get him in the fifth round, a guy that had the highest quarterback grade from the guru, if I can get him in the fifth round. Now, the problem that created, G, and I like it, I like having another option, and I can't wait to see him. The problem that created was, you guys saw the looks on the faces of Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski when that card was turned in and that name was read. It was like someone just stepped on their dog's neck.
Right. They can say whatever they want.
They can bull crap. No. We saw it. We know human reaction. We know what that was. Here's the built-in drama that they made. Mm-hmm. So now it's going to be my guy versus your guy. Yep. And now, instead of always fighting the other 31 teams, there's internal struggle.
Which we've seen many, many times.
We have. And that makes the cracks of the foundation bust down, and then you're building it up again.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get to our next topic. It's brought to us by Prize Picks. The episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this sports season, whether you're following the NFL, NBA, or both. There's no better time to jump in on the action. If you haven't tried it yet, Prize Picks is the simplest way to play. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup, and you can play anywhere Prize Picks operates, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after you play your first 5. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Bull, you are a resident gambling expert on the show. I don't gamble anymore, but you have been doing very well in your picks for your personal podcast.
Yes.
So I want to give you a shout out to that.
Trying to win the title 2 years in a row.
Yep. You deserve it. We're rooting for you, Bull.
Thank you.
So far this season, the Browns have not been good against the spread.
That's correct.
The line for the Browns this weekend is 8.5 in favor of the Baltimore Ravens. That means the Browns 8.5-point home underdogs. Bull, when you look at this line, do you feel like Vegas got it right? Is giving the Browns too much credit or too little credit?
No, I actually, when I do my post-game shows on Sunday, I always predict what the line's going to be. And I was wrong, and I actually didn't think it would be as high because the Browns are at home. And here's the thing. The Browns have, I don't say this to credit them too much, but because of their defense, they've been in most of their games, especially at home. They're a better team at home. They're more competitive at home. They're not good.
And the defense is better at home.
The defense has been way better at home.
Yeah.
And the Ravens, who obviously are way better with Lamar Jackson, and their defense has improved the last couple of weeks, still, they're not playing great football on the defensive side. They're playing okay on the defensive side.
They're in the bottom 10, I think, in defense.
Right, they're getting better. They've been better, but like they faced Minnesota last week. That's a limited offense right now as well. They don't have a running game, and McCarthy's a rookie essentially. I know technically not. So I actually think it's kind of right. Now I said it would be 6.5. It's a little higher than I thought, but I'm hearing people say it should be 11, it should be 12. Nah, as bad as the Browns are, they're at home. They have a very competitive defense. I get it. Their offense stinks. But I'm not expecting. Listen, I think it could go either way on the 8.5. I think right now, if I had to bet, I'd probably take the Ravens. But I think it's close. I'm leaning towards picking the Ravens to win by, around 10 points, give or take. I don't think it's going to be like a 25-point win. I know, it's easy to say that because they just lost to the Jets last week, and the Jets are bad. But this game's at home. That does matter in the NFL. And so that's a huge underdog at home.
Yeah,
that's
because you usually
underdog.
Get 3 for being at home.
Right. So you
Vegas
could.
Thinks
so if this game was in Baltimore,
better.
Even more, because think about it. If you're in Baltimore, that's 6 more points because it's now they get the 3 for half. So now, if they were in Baltimore, they'd be a 14.5-point dog.
I don't think
in
it's
theory.
3 points for home field advantage anymore.
Not anymore. You're right.
But that's usually a rule. I
mean,
that's
whatever.
Start.
Even if it's 2, Mike, that's still.
Yeah, I think it's like 1.5, 2. But you're right.
It's still now 12, 12.5.
Your point stands.
Bro,
Exactly.
So I think it's. Listen, could the Ravens win in a blowout? Certainly they could. But I definitely don't think it's too low.
It's too low.
I think it is too. I got it at 10.
The gravy is coming. The gravy is being poured early for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
This is one of them games where you say, "Oh, the wheels done fell off." See, last week was the punch, right? And you know how you get that delayed punch, and you see somebody get hit with a gut punch in boxing, and they go and they're like, "Oh, that was nothing," and then that liver hit you, and then they go to the one knee. It's a delayed punch right now in the stomach. The Browns,
delayed knockout.
The delayed knockout, and the worst knockout is a body blow because it debilitates you. The Cleveland Browns last week got punched. They lost the nasty game again. That 225. I think teams were 225-0 when they held somebody under 175 yards and didn't have any turnovers.
Right.
The Cleveland Browns lost that football game. The Baltimore Ravens are coming back. Lamar Jackson is hot. Lamar Jackson has been playing well.
Right.
They're going to come in here. And by the way, I would say you were correct about the home field advantage, but it's going to be a lot of orange seats up there.
There'll be a lot of Ravens fans.
They're going to be Ravens fans.
But the Browns have played, for whatever reason, they've played extremely well against Derrick Henry.
Yes.
And Derrick Henry, I feel like, has finally lost a half a step. Now, I'm not going to say a full step. I think he's now, clearly on the other side of the hill. Not far down the other side of the hill. The numbers are still really good. But I've seen him play. He doesn't look quite the same. He doesn't look like quite as good as he's been in the past.
About 5 years
let me make it very clear. He's still really good.
Great.
I'm just saying he's not quite at his peak anymore.
Your point is well taken. He has not played well against the
recent
Browns.
games. He's been
terrible. There
terrible.
was a game a couple of years ago. He
With
might have
the
been still with the Titans. He had 12 yards or something.
On 14 carries.
Yes, it wasn't like it was for lack of trying.
They seem to
pin him
for
up.
whatever reason, play well against him. And the Browns' strength is their front, their defensive front.
But you know what? I think, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think the Browns in total yardage have the second best defense in the NFL. Is that still the case?
It was going into last week, and so it probably is.
This week, I feel
They've got to be. They didn't give up a lot of yardage.
They gave up 164 yards or whatever.
Right.
I would think they're either 1 or 2 in yards allowed.
Yeah.
In yards allowed, if we're going by just yards per game, they have they're still in second behind Houston.
Okay. Now think about that for a second, guys.
Yeah.
They've given up the second fewest yards in the NFL, and they have 2 wins. Here's what that says.
You know how bad your offense has to be?
Well, your offense has to be all-time awful, which ours is, and you also have to have 2 other cracks in your armor. Special teams suck, and you give the ball away a lot. You're giving teams short fields.
Yeah.
I've been following this for a while on the yards. Yards needed to get a single point. And there's been 2 or 3 times this year where the Browns are allowing a point for every 6 yards that they give up. That's unbelievable.
The Baltimore game in week 2 was the best example of that one.
Well, last week too had to be
Last week was unbelievable.
Yeah.
They gave up 27 points, and they gave up more return yards than their defense allowed by 100.
I think the Jets had more points than passing yards in the first half.
It's just,
what's the odds of that?
So, I think that I keep calling it letting go of the rope. I love your analogy, the delayed knockout.
Yeah.
You get hit in the stomach, you're like, that's not so bad. Then you're like, no, that's really bad. I think that we've seen in the micro, when the Browns defense lets go of the rope. They're like, oh my God, we've tried everything we could. Our hands are bleeding, and you guys aren't doing anything, so boom, you win. I feel like in the macro, the big picture, the Jets game could be the tipping point.
Yeah.
I was listening to the call on the radio, and normally Nathan Segura is pretty positive.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
he's state-run media, right?
Yeah.
He was so critical of the offsides.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And in the larger picture, and I agreed with him 100%, he was right on the money. He said, at the end of the game, he said, this feels so much more than just another tough loss. This feels like the tipping point. And I couldn't agree more with him.
By the way,
We had that topic on the Friday show.
By the way, for state-run media to say that, what does he know that gives him confidence that he can even get that off?
He's walking around the halls of the building. He's seeing things that we can't see. And when he says on the air, this felt more than like just another one of those tough losses.
No.
This felt like a tipping point. I was like, wow. This is Nathan, who is typically on the positive side of everything. But, I mean, after looking at that, and everybody knows you're not going to run a play, and you jump off sides.
An all-time dumb play.
All time.
Let's bring in Ross.
We got
Mike.
Ross Tucker, guys. Let's bring in Ross. I got a question I got to ask Ross off the top here. But Ross today is brought to us by Supply House. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting on projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Join the free Trademaster program today and score some serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHNFL5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. With that, we are thrilled to welcome in Ross Tucker to the show. And Ross, I got to ask, you were on a month ago, and we looked at the Browns' upcoming schedule, and you said, they're not going to lose for a month, guys.
I don't think he said that. I think he said
I went back and listened to the
clip.
clip.
Have a chance to not lose. Okay. Go ahead. Ross, defend yourself.
The Browns are so much worse than even you could have given us credit for. We suck.
Hey, Mike. There's no chance I said they're not going to lose for a month.
I'll show you the clip. I swear.
Okay? I might have said they might not lose for a month. I might have said there's a chance they don't lose for a month. And I believed that. And it didn't work out that way. No. Shout out to you, Mike, for knowing they would give up a kickoff return and punt return for touchdown in the first quarter. You could have let me know that. I would have made a lot of money. I wouldn't even have to do this show if you would tell me that something that's going to happen. I could bet a ton of money and never talk to any of you guys again. I mean, by the way, 2 weeks ago, you guys, everybody, I guess in the chat was eviscerating me. So can we? If I just say right now. Yeah. They should fire everybody and put Shador in. Is the segment over?
You're cold.
Can I say later? I love you.
They were crazy.
Fire everybody. Fire everybody. Put Shador in. Segment over. Thank you, guys.
Okay, you will be loved.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, right. Ross, here's the real solution. I wanted to know your thoughts
You're the best,
on this.
Ross.
This is what we need to do. All right? I am serious about this. We need to have this happen. We need to take the Bengals and the Browns. We need to combine them into one team. Have them play in Columbus or Toledo, wherever you want to put them. Let's go. We'll take the Bengals offense. We'll take the Browns defense, a couple of sprinkles from the other side. Let's make one team, because you take the Bengals offense and the Browns defense, I think we got a Super Bowl contender, Ross. Would that team be the best team in football with a healthy Joe Burrow?
Oh, with a healthy Joe Burrow, yeah, they would be. Yes, they would be. Let's go. The Columbus Bro Gals.
Bro Gals.
Bro Gals.
That's the Bro Gals.
The Bro Gals.
That would be a hell of a team.
It's funny, though. I will say this. So a couple things, right?
Yeah.
I am not allowed to divulge assignments until, CBS does. But there's a good chance over the next month or so you guys might be seeing me on your TV. So I'll just you can file that under somewhere. And then I will say I've been listening to the show, and I think what you guys said about Nathan Segura is interesting, because that was my feeling watching that game against the Jets. And the way it ended in particular, this was not like, okay, tough loss for the Browns against a pretty good opponent. That it could have gone either way. We get it. Maybe they're not as talented. This was a really, really bad loss. I mean, first of all, to give up 2 special teams touchdowns, obviously they win the game if that doesn't happen. But that it did happen. This is a game when you're playing an inferior opponent who just traded away their 2 best players.
Yep.
You have to win that game. That's a game that the Browns really needed to win. They weren't able to do so, but it's the manner in which they lost. The 2 special teams touchdowns. Then, I guess I've kind of been a Dylan Gabriel defender, and I still don't think he played as badly as everybody else seems to think he did. But he kind of lost me a little bit, or at least frustrated me. He took sacks on 4th down twice.
Oh, yeah, bad sack.
What, like stuff like that. So for me, I'm not a Browns fan, whatever, to look at this team, okay, and to see a team that 2 special team touchdowns, the quarterback takes 2 sacks on 4th down.
Crazy.
Devin Bush gets a holding penalty.
Man.
They weren't going to throw the ball there.
No.
Unless the guy was wide open, they were not going to throw it. Fields tucks it away, but they get the free 1st down because Devin Bush, the holding penalty. And then the Cam Thomas offsides is just like, so if you are, and you guys know I guess a Stefanski supporter, an Andrew Barry supporter, and by that I just mean I'm not as harsh on those guys as I feel like you guys are. But remember, I'm not a Browns fan, right? So I know what it's like because I'm from near Philly. I'm on the text thread for all my Eagles friends. The Eagles beat the Packers Monday night, and all of the texts were how much of an idiot Sirianni was for going for it. Like, so I get that you're more passionate with fandom. I get all that. But I would just say I thought Sunday was a really bad look for a lot of people, for the Browns organization. For Gabriel to take sacks like that, but the coaching miscues on special teams, to have Cam Thomas do that, and I know that they're not over there saying, hey, Cam Thomas, jump. I know they're not saying, Cam, go in there and go offside. I know that. But there's something off there. Like, there's something off there where there's not some call or something where those guys don't move. So I would tend to be with Zagora, where I felt like the Jets' loss was more than just one loss. Now, what that means towards the end of the year is stupid to say now because there's still a lot more games left. But I do think that, if you're putting the ledger up, in favor of them keeping their jobs or losing their jobs, that was a brutal one for a lot of people.
Ross, I'm concerned as we talk about that loss. I called it a gut punch with a delayed reaction because when you lose that game in that manner and then you come back and you got a Baltimore Ravens team who is back loaded, back ready to go, back ready to try to get back into the playoffs, and you play a team like that at home, it looks like it's going to be some empty seats in the stadium. In the locker room, how do you guard against guys having a delayed reaction when some adversity hits you in the Baltimore Ravens game where guys, as Jay said, just let go of the rope? Defense may say, hey, listen, guys, we're checking out a little bit.
Well, so I'll tell you something that's interesting because you referenced empty seats. That is the number one thing that causes action among owners. Number one, apathy and empty seats, way worse than rage. Now, the thing is Browns fans, Google it, okay? I've said for years, I think you can make a strong argument that the Browns have the best fans in the NFL because the loyalty and how diehard you guys have been with almost nothing in return over the last 25 years, whatever it is, one playoff win. I mean, you guys know more than me.
Yeah.
I am so impressed. But that's the thing. As long as you're still all fed up and you're calling shows and you're on social media, you still care, you're still invested. It's when the local TV ratings go down. It's when there's empty seats. That, more than anything else, is when ownership usually takes action, in my mind. As for the Ravens game, look, I was there last year when they beat the Ravens at home. So for whatever reason, it feels like they play the Ravens really well when they are at home. I think the Browns will come out and put forth a pretty good performance. I don't think it'll be enough, but I think they'll at least come out and put forth a credible performance in front of the home crowd.
Ross, do you know the last time that the Browns, do you happen to know the last time the Browns won the division?
They didn't do it the Derek Anderson year. They didn't do it Kelly Holcomb. They didn't do it Baker.
Nope.
95, 96?
Not far off. You were 10 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
1989.
Bernie
Yeah.
Kosar,
Yeah.
our good friend Bernie Kosar, is the
You know
last
what?
quarterback.
I loved those teams, and this will sound weird because I'm not from Cleveland. That hurt, those back-to-back AFC Championship games.
geez,
Like that. I mean, the Ernest Biner fumble, like that hurt. And ironically, my rookie year, 2001, Marty Schottenheimer was my coach, and I love that dude, by the way.
Yeah.
I had Gibbs, Parcells, Belichick,
Oh my
Wow.
and I would still tell you Marty was the best coach I ever had. Out of all those guys,
Wow.
I thought Marty was more impressive to me.
Why?
I mean, and I know he doesn't have the same resume as those guys have,
Sure.
but I'm just saying as a player sitting there watching them, how they go about being a head coach, I think Marty Schottenheimer was more impressive. Maybe I was just a wide-eyed rookie. I don't know. But more impressive to me than Parcells, Belichick, and Gibbs.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but you know what? I know he lacked the Super Bowls, but man, his teams were always in the playoffs. They were always very good teams. His time here, oddly enough, ended because he refused to hire an offensive coordinator, and they ran him out, and that was the end of it. And it was the last time they won the division.
Yeah,
it's really hard to believe.
Yeah.
Ross, I know that sometimes we are too quick in this business to say, yeah, he's got to go. I love your 30,000-foot view because, as you say, you're not a fan, but you're an observer and you see everything. Is there a world where both Stefanski and Andrew Berry survive this season and are both back next year?
You know, I think that they would have to really pick it up down the stretch here. Yeah. The fascinating aspect of that, though, is you don't make the trade that they made with the Jaguars if you don't think that you're going to have 2026.
Right.
Now, it seems to me like because of that trade, perhaps Andrew Berry would be more likely to stay, and that Stefanski not being able to get this team to perform better, not being able to win more of these games, not, being – and look, nobody thought they were winning double-digit games this year, right?
Yeah.
But they've had their chances in some of these games, the Bengals game, the Vikings game, the Jets game. They've had their chances. So I think someone could fairly look at it and say, Kevin had a good run here for a few years, but this is now back-to-back years where he's not maximizing what we have. And I think in particular you point to like what happened in the Jets game with the Gabriel sacks, the Cam Thomas false start. That's not on Andrew Berry. That is more on the coaching staff. So I think that's a possibility. But like I said, there's still a bunch of games left to be played. They do have a chance to turn it around. They have one last card to play, which they're going to play at some point with Shedeur Sanders. I don't know when that's going to be, but they're going to play that card at some point. And I know you guys are all clamoring for it. Maybe it'll be the game I do. Maybe that would be that. Hey, that's when they should. If they want I need the ratings. Okay? start Shedeur. I can't even tell you guys what game it is yet, but start Shedeur in the game I'm calling. That would be awesome. Then a lot of people would be, although you know what? I will say this, because I did last year, guys. I did Colorado State. It is the craziest thing I've ever experienced as a broadcaster. If you say anything positive about Shedeur Sanders, there's like an army. I don't know if they're bots or what, but there's like an army of people on social media that will just kill you and say, stop kissing up to him. He's not good, blah, 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 blah. Conversely, if you say anything even a little bit critical, there's an even bigger army of bots that comes out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it's
just
nuts.
say, how dare you say that? How can you say that? It's like, you guys, I don't know if there's a way to do this, but you should go check out my social media mentions when I did Colorado State last year. I mean, depending on what I said and depending on the quarter, it's people just killing me from either side. At no point did anybody say I was doing a good job. If I was saying good Shedeur, it's like, bad Shedeur, it's like, so maybe I don't want him to start the
Ross,
next
it
round.
Reminds me of Tim Tebow.
Oh, yeah.
Any comparisons there?
It's Tebow. It's like a Kaepernick Tebow. Like it's as polarizing as I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I think, here's what I think is weird. Tebow kind of had, the religious thing. Kaepernick had obviously the cause that he stood up for. It seems like it happens when it's more than football. I'm not really sure why with Shedeur it's more than football. I think obviously his dad has a lot to do with it. Listen, I still remember, guys, I'm not kidding you. My grandfather, okay, who played in the leather helmet days, like God bless his heart, he hated Deion Sanders so much that in 2004, I was starting at center for the Bills against the Ravens. And this is when Deion came back and was playing for the Ravens. He offered me $10,000 to take out Deion in the game. My grandpa, okay? I was 25, he's 85, okay? He doesn't even know what a bounty is. He doesn't care, but he hated how much of a showboat Deion was that much. So I think that's where some of it comes from, is that people either loved or hated Deion, and so now you're on that side, one side or the other, and you take it all out on Colorado football and on his son.
Hey, Ross, I apologize in advance if I'm wrong. I remember reading an article last year that there was a broadcaster that was supposed to interview Shedeur, and I think he stood him up.
It was me.
I thought it was you, and that's why I hesitated to bring it up. For those that haven't heard that story, when I read it with kind of shock and bemusement that this actually happened, but remind myself and our viewers.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I wouldn't describe it as he stood us up.
Right.
I would describe it as, it was an important game for me. So I actually, even though Thursday night football I was doing on the radio, I flew out to Denver on Wednesday to go to Colorado's practice because I wanted to, talk with them. They actually told me Travis Hunter doesn't do a lot of media, but Shedeur will talk with you. Okay, great. And then, so I'm ready for Shedeur, and they say, well, Shedeur got hurt against Nebraska. He has to get treatment. He can't talk to you. Now, I think this is a really important aspect of the story, Jay. They say, who else do you want to talk to? I say, how about Jimmy Horn Jr.? They're like, okay, just in case. Anybody else? I was like, okay, Hank Zielinskis, the starting center. I don't know. So they're walking off the field, and now I know I'm not going to talk to Shedeur. The SID goes up to Jimmy Horn Jr., who plays for the Panthers now, points at me. Jimmy Horn Jr. goes, no, and keeps walking. I mean, wow. I'm doing the game on CBS. So I wanted to establish the precedent that, like, the players kind of did what they wanted there, right? This was not just like a Shedeur thing or anything. Like, the players did what they wanted. I was told, well, he'll talk to you Friday night. Okay, we do the production meetings. Shedeur does not come to the production meeting. Instead, it's LeJohntay Wester. They didn't give us a reason why it was a rookie. It was a receiver and not Shedeur. The only thing I thought was really weird about it is we're leaving, and there's a pickup truck right out front of the hotel,
this is what I remember.
and Shedeur was just sitting in the back of the pickup truck. And I actually regret. I might even ask him if he is playing in that game. I do. I guess regret not going up to him, introducing myself. Hey, Shedeur, Ross, Tucker, nice to meet you. I'm doing the game on CBS, and just saying just out of curiosity, why did you not want to do the meeting? And maybe the answer is just because with all the attention they got, all the commercials, all the media, maybe he just didn't maybe he didn't know that you're supposed to do a production meeting. That just didn't feel like doing it, and so I didn't it didn't affect how I called the game. But my point about that, Jay, was that stories like that get out, Yeah. And then the pre-draft process went the way it went for him. Those things start to stack, right? Skips a production meeting, then the combine meetings. Those things stack on top of each other, and people talk. And because I had at least 5 NFL GMs in the weeks after say, "Hey, what'd you think of Hunter? What'd you think of Shedeur?" And what's Shedeur like as a game? Well, I didn't get to talk to him. And then they're like, yeah, we've heard that stuff. So all that stuff counts.
It all adds up. Hey, we've got a hard 12-20 out. Ross, as always, I don't hold it against you that you said the Browns were going to go a month without losing. Hell, if they don't give up those kickoff returns, everything's different. They're 2-0 since you made that prediction. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Shove it, Mike.
Yeah.
Ross, we'll see you in Cleveland soon, man. Can't
See
wait
you,
to the
brother.
studio. Thanks again, Ross.
Why did we have a hard 12-20 out, Mike?
Yeah,
was that
he-
Ross's
He
thing?
has a hit
him?
at 12:25 that he was late to last time.
Oh, okay.
That
I
was
figured
his
it.
hard.
I figured it was his.
More his schedule.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask him. We just ran out of time.
No, listen. He texted me yesterday and said, "Hey, I was late to my 12:25 hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make
That's
sure
fair.
I got a hard 12." And now he was going long. That was on him.
Yeah.
So not us. He had the hard.
Yeah, I thought that was him.
Rob, that makes
I
more
read
sense.
That
I didn't.
leading up to the draft. I read that story.
I wanted to ask him
I
next
thought it was
time.
him.
Mike, remind me. I got to ask him about Quinshon Judkins because I know, and one of the reasons I was going to say this too. It's not just because he's on with us. Ross doesn't do a lot of the big games because he's lower down the totem pole at CBS and he does more radio.
Rising fast.
But I'll tell you, he should
good.
be because
He's great.
A lot of analysts, to me, talk in generic terms.
Yeah.
he studies the film.
Yeah, he knows
Unlike
it.
a lot of he's watching film and he knows you can tell when you're watching a game when the guys doing the game don't know your team well. If
Yeah.
it's your team, you know it. And Ross is the opposite of that. He's totally prepared. And I want his take on because I see Quinshon Judkins, and I'm not a former football player, and I see, oh wow, when this team gets better around him, he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
But am I biased or is he seeing that too? I'm curious, but anyway, next time.
No, we'll ask Ross, and if it lines up that it's a week that Ross is on with us and he's in Cleveland, we're going to do our best.
Hopefully he can come in studio.
Get him in studio.
Ross in studio. All right, guys, let's talk a little baseball. Before we do that, a reminder that the Cleveland Charge have their home opener this Friday night. Experience Charge basketball at Public Hall this season. The Cleveland Charge, the NBA's G League affiliate of the Cavaliers, are back in action for their 5th season in Cleveland with Charge alumni like Dean Wade and Sam Merrill and two-way players like Naquan Tomlin and Luke Travers, showing that the NBA G League is the home of future stars of the NBA. Charge basketball is the best option for affordable family fun in the land with fan giveaways, exciting theme nights, post-game player autographs, and more. The Charge tip-off on Friday, November 14th at 7 against the Wisconsin Herd. It is opening night, presented by Rocket, and the first 2,000 fans receive a mini hoop schedule. Tickets are on sale now at clevelandcharge.com. Make sure you go out there and support the Cleveland Charge. Bull,
Yes.
you got into a little bit of a argument with some people on social media about 12 hours after you said you had deleted social media off your phone because
I
you
did.
not
I wasn't
want
on
to
my
argue with
phone.
people.
At home, I look at it sometimes.
So Stephen Vogt won his 2nd consecutive Manager of the Year award.
Yeah, this
He's
is crazy
the
to me.
first coach ever to win it in each of his first 2 seasons as manager. So shout out to Stephen Vogt. He joins Kevin Stefanski in the elusive 2-time Coach of the Year in Cleveland category. But Bull,
Here's what I said, Jay. I tweeted last night, I think Stephen Vogt's a very good manager.
Yep.
But I would not have voted for him for Manager of the Year.
I can understand
and
that.
people responded as if I said he was a piece of garbage.
Yeah, let me ask you why you wouldn't have.
Because here's the thing. If you had done the vote on September 5th, would he have gotten a single vote?
No, but you
Okay.
don't do the vote on September 5th.
Correct. But to me, it's the Manager of the Year award. It's not the
Right.
Manager of the Month award.
Sure.
Okay? a lot of people responded and said it was the greatest comeback ever and blah, blah, blah. And you're right. And the team and he did a great job down the stretch.
Yeah.
But part of the reason they made that great comeback is because the Tigers had the biggest choke in the history of the sport.
That facilitated.
Yes.
Yes.
No
100%.
matter how great the Guardians played,
I agree.
if the Tigers had not had an all-time choke, they would not have made the playoffs,
Right.
and he would not have won Manager of the Year. Now, I'm not bothered by it. I understand the argument for picking him. I'm not saying it's crazy that he won.
Yeah.
I'm just saying John Schneider.
Yep.
Did a great job the whole season.
Who's John
Now,
Snyder?
he's the Blue Jays. But
manager.
the only problem with that, and I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah.
We're in Cleveland.
Okay. Yeah.
We see the Blue Jays 10 times a year.
Right.
Maybe.
Yes.
The vote had to be done on the last day of the regular season
Right.
or the week after.
Yeah.
I will say that I am guilty of not knowing how good a manager he was until the playoffs. And I watched him in the playoffs, and I watched him make one brilliant move after another, not just pitching.
Right.
It was defensive replacements. It was pinch runners.
Yeah.
Everything this guy, pinch hitters.
Yeah.
Everything he did was like he was waving this magic wand, and I'm like, wow. My biggest takeaway was I knew that Blue Jays were a really good team.
Yeah.
I did not know that they had an all-world manager. I thought he did an unbelievable job.
The people voted.
And I wouldn't have voted for Snyder because the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
And we're all prisoners.
Right, everybody got caught up in that. That's why he won.
We're prisoners of the moment.
Yeah.
But in August, I was saying, man, has the rose fallen off that, the bloom has fallen off that rose with vote.
Right.
You and I talked about it. We talked about it on this show. I think he made a number of missteps this year.
Yeah.
And now I watched them more than any.
Yeah.
But a lot of his mistakes weren't just me second-hand managing. It was in the moment. I'm like, why are you doing that?
Right.
But in September, it was
he pulled it all together.
all world.
And that's
why I would have voted for him.
I'm going to interject to just give you baseball guys something to look at from an outsider, just talking about it. The fact that the Guardians, came back from, I don't know, I mean, the way they had
15 and a half games out.
They had to lose. They had to win every single game.
Just about.
Just about to get into the playoffs.
And the Tigers had to lose.
And the Tigers had to.
Now, we can't control what they did.
Right,
But here's the thing. I think that it absolves them a little bit because if you look at what the Tigers did, they did collapse. But the Tigers went on to go to the playoffs and advance further.
They beat us.
Yes.
They beat us. So that says, okay, the Tigers are a good ball team. But the biggest thing here is you guys got to understand the Guardians had the biggest scandal hanging over their heads since the Black Sox.
And he managed it.
Hold on. They lost their closer and a starting rotation pitcher, and they was naming it in the middle of the run. So
and there were stories popping up. This ain't it. There are other Guardians that are being investigated.
So for him,
and he kept it together.
To keep it together. Do that and continually win during that step. That won it from right there.
Here's something else. Last year, the Tigers, who were terrible for most of the year, made an amazing run to the playoffs.
Got hot.
And Stephen Vogt won the Manager of the Year.
They
Even though
did.
the Tigers, not as big a comeback as the Guardians.
Right.
The Blue Jays, I get it. They have a higher payroll than the Guardians.
Much.
It's not Yankees-Dodgers level payroll.
What is it? Isn't it $200 million?
They were the fifth highest in baseball.
Yeah, it's very high.
Okay. But a lot of their lineup, there's a lot of guys who came out of nowhere in that lineup. Outside of Guerrero.
Look at Ernie. I mean, we talked about Ernie Clement on this show.
Miles Straw.
I mentioned in May, I'm like, wow, I'd like to have this guy back.
Yeah, Addison Barger kind of came out of nowhere. You know, big season. They had a lot of guys like that.
Now, they also had the high money guys, too.
But but in the lineup, it's really just Guerrero.
Yeah, but that's how I take him.
They spent a lot of money on Anthony.
Springer makes a lot of money.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, it's Springer. They
does.
spent a lot of money on Santander, but he was out basically the whole season.
Was, yeah.
Bo Bichette missed the whole stretch of the season.
That's right.
And he survived those things. Their bullpen stunk, and he found his way around it.
Yeah, listen.
And what I would say ultimately is the Blue Jays finished in last place the year before.
Yeah.
And that's why I would vote. Again, I'm not saying you're an idiot if you voted for Stephen Vogt.
Right.
I understand the argument. But But
you shouldn't have been desecrated like you're the worst
one guy
thing ever.
said, "You work in Cleveland. You should support the Cleveland guys."
That doesn't have anything to do
with it. I got to
with
give my
it.
honest opinion.
Yeah, no, that I would say doesn't make any difference where we work.
Let me make it very clear. I think Stephen Vogt, through 2 years, has done a tremendous job as manager of the Guardians.
Absolutely.
I would have voted for him last year, even though there was a case for Hinch, right?
Yeah.
Hinch.
Well,
but I would have voted for him last year. I would have voted him second this year. That's hardly an insult.
I think one thing that gets caught up when you talk about voting for MVPs is there are times where there could be recency bias in. So you vote for somebody last year because you thought, okay, well, I can see where they actually won the award. You give your reasons why. Then this year comes around,
someone else's turn.
It's somebody else's turn. Let's spread it around.
Right.
But if it
both leagues, the same manager won, which is never happened.
If it wasn't for the miraculous comeback, he had to have three things happen. He had to make the playoffs. He had to have a miraculous comeback, and he had to have a crazy scandal where people probably is going to go to jail for him to get that award. Now I don't care what he do next year. They can win a World Series. He ain't getting it next year. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I can't see.
The playoffs doesn't count anyway. They vote before that.
All right, but he is not getting it. He better win 120 games if he wants that award.
Interesting.
3 years in
One
a
of the
row.
interesting things, I don't know, I found this interesting, is that, and it's not the same exact voters because different reporters get different awards to vote on.
Right.
It's not the same guys voting on everything. I think what was interesting is the writers kind of went prisoner of the moment with vote because of the Great September, and yet for NL Rookie of the Year, again, a different voting base.
Yeah.
Cubs pitcher Cade Horton finished second to Drake Baldwin. Drake Baldwin was in the big leagues the whole season. Horton came up in like late May.
Right.
But the second half of the year, Horton had an ERA of about 150. He had the best ERA in baseball, I believe, in the second half of the year. For a rookie, is crazy.
Unheard of, yeah.
And yet Baldwin, who was just good the whole season, got the vote. It was less prisoner in the moment in that vote, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting when you look at these things. It's all, it's
by the way,
subjective.
Nick Kurtz won the AL Rookie of the Year unanimously. He was, of course, selected after Travis Bazzana.
Right, which we watched all year as he put up ridiculous numbers.
Yeah.
And
Bad job,
that could have been us.
Nuggets. Bad job. You're supposed to have this topic. Who's the better two-time coach of the year, Vogt or Stefanski?
Well, that was the second
I
part.
think it'd be unanimous for vote
two.
right now.
But quickly
second
before
part
we
of the
move off of
question
that,
was, does it
I
hold
want to
more
bring
weight?
this up. What scares me about this is Vogt is likely to get poached by some other team that looks at the hot young manager and decides that...
And we're going to give him power. He can actually decide who's in the lineup.
He can fill out his own lineup card, and he's going to make real money. And that scares me tremendously because, the fact that they brought this guy in on the heels of having a Hall of Fame manager, again, it's the difference between an organization that gets it right and an organization that continuously gets it wrong.
Right.
The Guardians know the process. They know how important the manager is. They interview the right guys. They select the right guy. The Browns, time and time again, we're scratching our head going, how did this guy get the job?
The one thing I'll say about Vogt potentially leaving, like Francona was here forever. Why? I mean, he was frustrated at times, especially later, about the lack of payroll.
Yep.
But if you're an employee of the Guardians, you like being. It's a good organization to work for.
Guys I talk to
because
love
there's
it.
stability, right?
they
Why
love
do you
it.
think Mike Chernoff, who grew up a Mets fan in New York, turned down the job to be the GM of the Mets?
Yeah.
His hometown team.
Because
same with
the
Antonetti.
stability
Antonetti
here.
could take his pick of jobs.
100%. So
And they want him
and
win
there's
here.
not that many teams that will spend huge money on a manager these days. Not a lot.
I will say that it has been devalued a lot.
Yes.
But I got to tell you, Bull, after I watched, and that's a different conversation. Like how important is a baseball manager? That's a different conversation. But when I watched the World Series and I watched Dave Roberts make the moves that he made, and Schneider make the moves that they made, it really drives home. These guys might only swing the meter 8-10 games a year, but you don't build a team for regular season success. You build it for postseason success. And I watched two guys put on master classes in managing.
Both did a great job.
They were incredible, Bull. They were as good.
Yeah.
That was as well a managed World Series as I can remember.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best World Series I've ever seen.
I think it was this offseason in terms of managerial hirings has been quite interesting. The Giants, I don't know if you followed this at all.
I did. They went to college.
Hired a college manager. Never happened.
And a controversial
awesome,
college coach.
Now, we've seen guys go from college, become a
pitching coach.
Yeah, pitching coach or bench coach.
But
Pat Murphy of the Brewers, who's a really good manager, was in college, was Craig Counsell's college coach.
Yes.
And then he came with Counsell to be his bench coach. We've never seen a guy go directly from college to Major League Baseball.
And this guy's controversial. He's awesome. I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. But my question is always this: same thing when they do this with college. When you bring a guy like that in from college, are the paid adults going to respond the same way the college kids do?
Especially in baseball with a contract guaranteed.
Especially when they make 20 times more than you do?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so. So that's going to be interesting to see.
But he was hired by Buster Posey, who's as baseball a man as it can be.
Knows the game.
Yeah. And, meanwhile, the Padres...
I remember he was a rookie. How old are we?
Buster Posey knew the game as well as anyone.
Yeah.
Catchers always make the better...
managers.
Stephen Vogt was a catcher.
Is he a Hall of Famer yet? Has he been inducted?
I don't think so. No, Buster Posey's not a Hall of Famer.
I mean, how many years did he play? Because I could remember
12. He had some bad injuries. He had a collision.
Collision.
I thought that destroyed his career.
For all intents and purposes.
Yeah, and the Padres, meanwhile, hired Craig Stammen, who I think just retired last year. He's a long-time relief pitcher. And
right.
I think he retired last year. He was in the front office for a year, working with the GM, and now they made him the manager this year. We're seeing a lot of that, too. Like, guys just... it used to be you had to be an assistant coach, or you had to go down to the minors and be a minor league coach.
But when things work, it's a copycat league just like the NFL.
Right.
Vogt going from the field to a year as bench coach with the Mariners.
Yeah.
And then immediately gets a managerial job and has success.
Yeah.
Other guys are looking at that saying, you know what, maybe we need players that are managers that are closer to the players in age.
Right.
Are you going to see more of that? Because I think the NFL started moving with the young guys and the young. I
think the tricky part is remember when the Cubs fired Joe Madden and they had David Ross be the manager?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It didn't work.
It didn't work. Part of that was they were it was a variety.
They didn't have the talent that they did.
It started declining.
Yeah.
Part of that was though. He had played with a lot of those players.
That's tough.
I think that makes it tricky.
That's a tough ask.
And that could be the issue with Craig Stammen, too, because he was just a player on the Padres 2 years ago.
That's tough.
So whereas Stephen Vogt went to another team.
Yeah.
I think that's a little easier than
I agree with that.
These guys were my buddies, and now I'm the manager.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that line.
Yeah. All that being
before
said,
we move on.
It's still impressive what Vogt did.
G. Bush, you asked, when did Posey play last? 2021 was his last full season. Do you guys think he's in first ballot Hall of Famer?
That's tough.
I don't think he's a first ballot.
What's his career WAR, by the way?
Career WAR? I can find that for you. His career WAR is 45.
No.
How I look at it is, all right, let me see.
How many World Series did he win? Three.
Let me see who were the recent catchers that got inducted.
Well, Joe Mauer.
Oh, wow.
Joe Mauer, I think, is the most recent catcher, right?
I think he is.
And
Mauer won one World Series.
Posey's a one-time MVP, a Rookie of the Year, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-time All-Star.
Yeah.
I think he gets in.
How many home runs?
He gets in on first ballot.
Not a ton of home runs, only 158.
Catchers are so
it's
tricky.
different. You judge them. Yadier Molina's going to get in eventually.
Yes, you look at them, how they handle the pitching staff.
Right.
That's their value.
302 for his
career. Oh, yeah, they're going to get him in.
Yeah,
Posey will get in eventually.
302,
I think it'll take him a couple years. I just don't think he's going to be in
I think what's
first
interesting
ballot.
with the Hall of Fame this offseason is that Bonds and Clemens and some of those steroid guys.
Is their last shot?
Now they're with those, whatever they call it now, the Veterans
Committee.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see
how they treat them.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to get in. I'd vote him in personally.
Jay,
but.
I would too.
Roger Clemens, I remember Roger Clemens had about 3 different careers, man.
He did.
Roger Clemens was
performance enhancing.
But he was. I just remember these dudes being super nice. The first time around, like Roger Clemens for the Red Sox was crazy. Barry Bonds,
the Pirates was crazy.
People have been killing Ryan Clark lately. I'm going to kill him for something else. He said Barry. He said he was talking about Barry Bonds better baseball player than Shohei Ohtani, which I disagree with, but. He also said, this is completely ridiculous, and anybody that was watching baseball at this time knows. He goes, he was already the best player when he was in Pittsburgh before starting.
No, he was not.
That is not. He was very good.
He was an all-star.
Great player.
Yes.
He was not the best player in baseball.
He was not the best player.
He was one of the best players in the
many
league.
He
MVPs
added the
he got?
power piece to his game.
How many MVPs? He
I don't
got?
know if he won any in Pittsburgh.
No.
I'll look that up in a sec.
I don't remember.
We gotta
I think
get
he may
one
have.
other.
Okay.
Didn't he win 7 and Roger Clemens won 7 Cy Youngs?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they're
That's
the equivalent of
No,
one
but I don't
another.
know if he won any in Pittsburgh.
I think he did win one.
Okay,
I
maybe
think
he did.
Well, by the way, both.
Barry Bonds did win an MVP in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
won 2 MVPs in Pittsburgh.
All
Okay.
right, that's
Yeah.
all right.
But
And
then won what, 5
Finished second, another one.
in San Francisco?
But he wasn't looked at the same until he went to the Giants.
No, not even
Yeah, he
close.
won
Again,
5
we all thought he was awesome.
great.
If he
You know
had
what I
not-
remembered him for? This terrible throw in the World Series.
that was an all-time bad
It was
throw.
an all-time.
He's the only player that won
To
four,
my- you know who the catcher
four
was?
consecutive MVPs. He's the
Yes, he's the only one to
You know,
do
the
it.
catcher
His
was for
baseball
the Pirates.
reference page is absurd.
I'll be
Number 10, is it Lavalier?
Mike Lavalier.
Yeah.
Lavalier.
Lavalier. Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah.
If
That
you
is
guys
rather
wanna just-
obscure right
Yeah,
there.
it is obscure. You're
If
right.
you ever wanna just
that,
get a
that
good
throw
chuckle.
was dribbled.
Go on Barry
One of the
Bonds'
all-time bad
Pro
throws.
Baseball Reference page. It's
Here's the thing:
absurd.
if Barry Bonds had if you take his Pittsburgh career and extrapolate the rest of his career, he's still a Hall of Famer.
100%.
But he's not the best player of all time level.
No. But he was, I will say this,
Yeah.
to Ryan Clark's point,
Yeah.
he's the most
Feared hitter.
feared hitter in the history
never
of
seen
Major League
anything
Baseball.
like it.
Just go look at his intentional walk
Never
stats.
seen anything like
Absurd.
it.
Never.
He
But-
got walked with the bases loaded multiple times.
Many times. I remember
Crazy.
one time Arizona did it
Yeah.
in a meaningful game.
Yeah.
But there's this point. There was a demarcation line on his stats. You can almost tell when he started using
100%.
And so we took an already great player and
Yeah.
put him in the all-time great
Superhuman.
category.
Yeah.
And how much did performance-enhancing drugs help that?
Yes, and by the way,
A lot.
both Clemens and Jeff Kent, part of the reason Jeff Kent hasn't gotten in the Hall of Fame because he's one of the greatest second basemen of all time, and this is wrong. I don't like this.
Yeah, he was
2 of the
prickly.
all-time jerks.
Yeah, big
in
time.
baseball history. Dave Kingman, remember him?
Oh, yeah.
One of the biggest jerks.
Jim Rice. But the
Yeah,
media
but
did
he
not
did
like
get
Jim
in.
Rice. He
Yeah,
got in.
took him a while.
But they punished him.
Yeah.
They punished
We got
him.
one last topic we got to get to before we do Super Chats. It's brought to us by FanDuel. The NBA's back. No better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when their first $5 bet hits. So head to FanDuel.com/UCSS to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Guys, Major League Baseball free agency is coming up, and Bull, you mentioned on the show the other day that you thought the Guardians' best chance to sign a real slugger would be on a 1-year big contract because of the impending lockout that could happen after the next season. So I asked you and Jay to come up with a name of a realistic target you think the Guardians could actually sign to a deal similar to that, and your player was?
Well, let's do Jay first because
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
really bad on this
no,
because
there's no need to feel bad. Go. Yeah,
you had said this a number of weeks ago.
yeah,
And as soon as you said it, I thought, wow, yeah.
yeah.
Pete Alonso is a rent-a-player
Yeah.
that would look really good in this lineup. He would automatically give us another power threat outside of Jose Ramirez. It would take more pressure off other guys in that
100%.
lineup. And that's what we need. We don't.
Yes.
I think what happened last year was we saw guys, as they're trying to figure out Major League pitching, we saw them at times crumble under all the pressure of being another power bat in the lineup. And if you put a guy like this in, it automatically everybody else is like, wow, I don't have to do it now. I don't have to be the guy. He's going to hit 40 home runs a year without even, waking
No
up.
doubt.
He's going to hit 40
No
home
doubt.
runs. And I think he's going to make everybody around him better, and that's what we need. The other name that I thought of, and I'm curious to see what you say about this, I would talk to Josh Naylor.
It's funny that you say that because he was on my short list of guys.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no.
I feel better about it that you like the idea.
Yes, yeah. I mean, listen, position-wise, you'd rather get a middle infielder who's a power
100%.
hitter or a center fielder would be
But
perfect.
Bazzana is kind of in the pipeline.
Yeah, right.
So,
Pete Alonso is the ultimate guy.
Yeah.
Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I think he will this year get a longer deal.
Isn't our payroll around $45 million right
Yes.
now?
it's crazy.
There's no reason they couldn't pay him. And
They're going to have to spend $40 million at least.
Yes, and the thing about not the lockout is, for me, if I'm the Guardians, it's a chance to be more aggressive.
I agree.
You might not even have to pay him the following
I look
year.
at this as an opportunity.
Yes.
Guys are going to be, other teams,
Yeah.
I think, are going to be hesitant to pass out ultra big deals.
That's right.
And I think the players have already been programmed to know it's not going to be there.
That's right. It's good.
So the Guardians,
Take
this
advantage.
is perfect for them.
They have no big money on the books except for Jose,
Nothing.
and even obviously he's under market value.
Sure.
Pete Alonso, I don't think people realize what a difference, okay? Pete Alonso.
Why is he so underappreciated?
He is the most.
He's underappreciated in New York.
It is crazy. The message is
I thought
we're going to let him
Schwarber
go.
was that guy 2 years ago. Why is there not more clamoring for
don't
Kyle
understand.
Schwarber?
Look at this Pete
Look at
Alonso's
the numbers, bro.
numbers since he's come up to the big leagues.
It's insane.
Was 38 the least amount of home runs he's had in a full
I bet
season?
it is.
I can tell you one second.
I mean, give his home run totals year by year, Mike. You know, one of them's the COVID year, obviously. His power
He's in the 40s and 50s.
It's crazy.
Pete Alonso, year by year, his rookie year, 53. 2020 was the shortened COVID year, 16.
And that's a lot. We played
Yeah, in
60
that year,
games. Yeah.
57 games.
Yeah.
He had 37, 40, 46, 34, 38.
What are we doing?
So you
What are you
guarantee
doing?
the
I know.
34 is the lowest.
That sounds like my belt waist.
He's average. He's probably in his career. He's
56.
probably averaged
Well
40
played.
home runs a year,
Yeah.
roughly, right? So what's the worst? And Cleveland's a good hitter's park.
It is.
He'll be. Listen, and here's the thing, Jay. I don't know how you feel about this, but you've been around baseball for so long. You've played. To me, Jose Ramirez is a better baseball player than Pete Alonso overall.
No question.
No doubt, right?
No question.
But there's
Everything he
something
brings
to be
the table.
said for having that big monster who's physically imposing in the
Yes.
lineup. Jose is not that. He's great.
Jose's diminutive.
Teams
He's
fear him.
small in stature.
Teams are concerned about him. They pitch around. If you got Pete Alonso batting right behind Jose
Oh, my
Ramirez,
God.
you can't.
And you know what?
Not every time.
I think Ramirez's stats would go up.
Ramirez would have the best year of his career if you signed Pete Alonso.
I agree.
If he were healthy, no doubt that would be the best. I'd bat him 2-3 in the lineup.
I would too.
I'd bat Jose 2. I'd bat Pete Alonso 3. That would be the best, one of the best, if not the best 2-3 combo in the league. They would hit 70 to 80 home runs, maybe more between them.
So why can't I get him and Naylor?
Well, they can't
Well,
get
they
him
play
in
the
there.
same.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do both. I would say, for me, I would put if you can't get anywhere with Alonso and there's not, he's outside of your price range.
Right.
I would absolutely bring Josh Naylor back.
I would.
Josh Naylor, by the way, was one of the best base stealers in baseball this
Which was
year.
insane.
I don't know where that came from. He's not
He
fast.
stole like 35 bases.
and his
or something.
percentage was really high.
Especially with Seattle. When he went to Seattle at the end of the year, I don't think he ever got caught.
No,
So
it's unreal.
Alonso and Naylor isn't realistic together.
Okay.
No, you
Alonso
wouldn't.
and possibly Bulls guy together.
Could happen.
Could
Who's your guy?
So my guy, and I don't love this guy. I like him, but I think he's a guy that I would love it if they signed Pete Alonso and this guy. I would, But my guy is Trent Grisham. So Trent Grisham was a solid player for the Padres for a number of years. Not great, but solid. Last year, he had a massive breakout season with 34 home runs. Now, to be fair, he played at Yankee Stadium, which is a big-time short porch for left-handed hitters, which he is. So I don't think he's hitting 34 home runs for the Guardians.
I mean, they got a jet stream out there.
But we have a nice right field porch.
We got
here,
a nice
too.
little jet stream out there.
I think he could hit 25 home runs. And you know what position he plays? Center field. Now, he's not an elite defender.
He's solid, though.
He's average. But
Okay, we have an elite guy in left field.
Right.
Which makes it easier for a less than elite
And
center
they haven't
field.
had a guy who could potentially hit 20. I'm going to say 25 home runs for Grisham. I don't think anybody's going to pay him huge because last year was his first all-star level season.
Right.
He'd been just a solid player before that. So I don't think he's getting a massive contract. I think him on like a nice two-year, $40 million deal, 45, maybe even 50. I think he'd be a great fit.
I hadn't thought of him, but I like the name.
I would bet, and I'd bet him cleanup. So now I have Kwan, Ramirez, Alonso, Grisham. That's my 1 through 4.
Wow.
Or I put Manzardo 4, I put Grisham 5.
Yeah.
And now we're cooking. Now I got Chase the Lauder.
Okay.
That's
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Might
That's
develop
what I'm
into
talking
something.
about.
We don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully Bazana's up there by May, right? Like get him going.
I want to see him this year.
And that puts your payroll where? Overall.
$80 million if you do both? No.
I mean, if you signed Alonso for 40 and Grisham for 25.
You're at 100.
You're at $100 million.
And that's still light.
That's
light.
Your pitching stat, they're very lucky in that they don't really have to address their pitching stat.
No.
That's where teams are trying to get better.
Absolutely.
Now I don't know if I think Smith is good enough to be the closer. He was okay in that role last year.
But now he'll go into the whole offseason knowing he's going to be the guy.
I like our bullpen. I like our starting rotation.
Yeah.
If you give me 2 to 3 new bats, I think you're competing at least for the Central. And now you're in contention to who knows what's going to happen.
To me, I'm not going to bank on it. But if you sign Grisham and Alonso, again, long shot, probably not going to happen. It totally changes the team.
And Bull, what it does is it injects some enthusiasm into the fan base.
That's right.
What we're accustomed to is selling players off in July, drafting people we hope hit, and never signing free agents. We never, ever sign free agents.
No.
Like, we went through a stretch there around 16 to 20 where we were bringing in guys that made differences.
Yes.
We had Bell. We got Josh Bell.
Well, the last couple of guys they brought in
have not worked
were
out.
flops.
Yep.
And I almost think that now the front office is like, this isn't for our blood.
Yeah.
We can't afford to miss on Bell like we missed. We can't afford to.
That's why they got to shop a little.
Zanino retired.
Right. Now they got to shop a little higher. They've got the pay room flexibility.
Yes.
Let's stop going bargain basement. Let's go to
mid.
Trent Grisham's like top of middle class.
Yeah.
Now Pete Alonso is top class. He's the lower end of top class.
Ain't Clase and Ortiz's money coming off the books?
Yeah, Ortiz wasn't making anything.
Yeah,
but Clase is $6 million. That's gone.
Yeah.
All right.
That's gone. And I believe Stephen Kwan, who's arbitration eligible, I think he'll make $7-8 million this year.
Boy, he
will be the second highest paid player on the team.
Wow,
crazy.
That's cool. His value plummeted. I don't want to say plummeted.
Yeah, but
he was in line, and his agent and everybody else had figured that the ship had sailed from him signing a long-term deal here. If I'm the Guardians, one thing that I am doing is I'm trying to lock him up long term because
75.
His value went down.
5 for 75 right now.
That's a doable deal.
Let's
that will, in 3 years, look like a team-friendly contract.
This is the best I've felt about the Guardians in a long time.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have faith. They
ain't gonna do it, but
bad.
Well, at least
now you'd have 5 legit hitters.
That lineup, lineup is watchable.
And then
that lineup is very watchable.
Last year it was filled with guys that hit 181.
And let's say you did that, and let's say Chase DeLauder really puts it together.
Now,
again, he's injury
prone.
I'll throw
more icing on the cake. How about Bazana? This is year 3.
Yeah, and
we got to see something.
In theory, you could have by the middle of the summer, you could have DeLauder and Bazana hitting 6-7.
Oh my God!
And okay, your shortstop is not great, and your catcher's so. But I could live with Naylor and Arias 8 and 9 if the rest of my lineup is good.
Exactly.
Agreed.
That's the thing. That's why Miles Straw on Toronto is
sense.
fine.
Okay, yeah.
Because the rest of their lineup's really good. He was a little better offensively than he's been in the past.
Not much.
He wasn't that good.
A little bit.
But he helps them. You could use him because the rest of your
Same
lineup's
with Jimenez.
good.
Jimenez was below average this year. He didn't have a good year at all. But it's weird how guys like that you can hide in a lineup in Toronto.
Yes, because the rest of the lineups
here they stick out like a sore thumb because you get to the 6-hitter in our lineup and you're like, we got to wait to get back to the top.
You can't have 4 empty hitters.
You turn in the channel. You like, let me go ahead and
let's face it, there were times last year they had 5-6 empty hitters.
I know they did.
But
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Again, I'm hoping against hope, but come on, man.
Got to do better,
guys.
Got to do better.
We got super chats to wrap up today's show. The Akron Hot Saucer says, Inside Man's an underrated Denzel movie. Just watched that a couple days ago.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Denzel's only got maybe 2 bad movies, and none of them are his fault.
Ever.
His hit rate's incredible.
But Inside Man is a great movie.
Very good.
Yeah.
Miss Bell says, DG Rookie of Anything, and him playing is asinine.
Hey, did he win Rookie of the Week?
No, he came in last.
I can't believe he was even on that list.
Who nominated him? His mom?
It was a tough week.
That was wild.
If you look at just his stat line and didn't watch the game,
it
looked decent.
You can see how he was the 6 out of 6.
The stat line wasn't hideous. It wasn't good, but
CR Studios says Adam Landman is the best Taylor Sheridan show, followed by Tulsa King.
You know what? I've soured on Tulsa King. It got too silly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I liked it. It's just gotten so stupid.
B. Staples says Garland's officially injury prone. Mick Gee says the baby toe is Pluto. Hakeem Labanga says you guys rock. Always look forward to seeing the show. Skilly says, Bull, hit me up if you want me to help Aaron. I was a 3-time national qualifier. My father was the head coach at Mentor High School Wrestling for 14 years.
What's that name?
Skilly.
Skilly.
Friend of the show, Skilly.
All right.
You met Skilly before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have? I haven't.
I think you have.
Hey man, them wrestling conditionings is crazy.
Oh, man,
I got cut from my 7th grade basketball team. My dad said you got to stay in shape somehow, and I went out for one day and realized that I will never come back. And by the way, I left there, went to the boys club, and worked on my left hand jumper and layup because I was like, I'm never ever stepping on a mat again.
It teaches discipline.
We just got. Think about how tough this is. Tussle around with another man for about 55
it's
seconds. You tussle around, you be like.
The Goober
Get to that
says,
third period,
Jay, you're
man.
not wrong about the wrestling advice. 13 years of wrestling, and I wish I had the knowledge I have now back then. Shout out to Jamie Milkovich, the OG coach.
Nice.
Sound like
Juju
a coach.
PSN said, sounds like Stefanski has a case of the computer love. Miss Bell says, prime example of the good old boy network. Ronald Smacker says, Paul Depodesta reverse boosting, so he's weak. Neil Gray says Shador and Dylan are kids that are stuck between two parents, Andrew and Kevin, who are going through a bad public divorce, and Haslam is the divorce judge.
Pretty good
who has to
analogy.
make a
Kramer
final
versus
decision on the
Kramer.
future.
Right.
They're fighting for their parents' love.
Right.
Topo says, so with Depot leaving, do you guys think Stefanski and Barry get a chance to run things without the overlord and his ruler slapping their wrists?
Oh,
agree.
they raising armies as we speak.
I imagine
Force
they were
Man
both
says
excited
Dorsey
when they
hit
heard.
2.5 of 4 top 35 picks. His 2019 class was trash. He took the 3rd or 4th best quarterback at 1. Dorsey wasn't perfect. He hit pick
you can't say
35.
fourth. Third.
Pick
I'll
4,
go
missed
third,
quarterback.
By the way, Jay, I don't know if you saw this. In a dynasty football league. So in dynasty football, you have a guy, he's yours forever unless you trade him or cut
Right.
him.
Yeah.
I traded for Baker Mayfield last week.
What? What?
Yeah, I traded Sam Darnold and I can't remember a second player for Baker.
Wow.
All right,
We've come
next
a long
one.
way,
Well,
though.
Sam Darnold's been great
We've
the
come,
last
I know
couple of
he
weeks.
has. My God.
Miss
Seattle
Bell
star,
says Jason was Travis gifted the Heisman. Jason's not here today.
Jason was
It's your boy OZ says Boog from Shador's camp said before the season that AB stood on the table for Sanders to be drafted in the 5th.
He did say that.
NBAR says Depot probably forced the AVP firing too. Wanted to throw more. Neil Gray says Stefanski should have been fired a long time ago. The moment he couldn't make it work with Baker and Watson. 6 years of losing is unacceptable in this league. Jordan D'Agostaro says combine the teams to play in Toledo. Great fans in Toledo. Just look at the Toledo Walleye hockey team fans.
They do have a great following there.
Yeah.
Used to be the Toledo Mud Hens.
Right.
Or no,
Miss
Toledo-
Bell
Toledo.
says, hey, Ross, DG
That's the
fans
baseball
know he
team.
stinks. They say it. Lord of
Diggers.
the Drip says, Ross Tucker is telling us to boycott the Browns to get organizational change. Take note, folks.
He didn't tell us to.
Yeah.
He
He
said
said-
the one thing that will get the
Yeah.
front office's attention is apathy. We've talked
Yes.
on this show
yeah.
about apathy.
Man.
You know that it's a wrap when fans don't care anymore.
When them
we
seats-
still bring vitriol on Mondays after
right.
all these losses. We still do ridiculous numbers on Monday after losses.
Record
The
number.
Brown-
But we will reach a point where that goes away.
the Browns take advantage of the loyalty of their fans.
100%.
Couple more. Let me get through these. William Bassett says Hunter and Sanders for the Browns. Miss Bell says if Shador did him wrong, why did he still want to talk to him? Chiller Wall says Jay and Bull, big picture question: why dunk on the guards for spending $4 million on culture with Hedges, and then dunk on the Browns for not prioritizing culture?
Huh?
Jay
I
hasn't
don't.
dunked.
I don't dunk on them.
Jay loves Hedges.
I get it. I
Here's
totally
my
get it.
beef with Hedges.
I just wouldn't play him as much as they play him.
My beef with Hedges is only because they don't spend.
Yes.
If they spent more, I wouldn't care that you spent $4 million on here.
Right.
But when they care about every dollar, listen, Austin Hedges is a great clubhouse guy. There's no doubt about it. They have a good culture even without him.
They do, but
it's not like the Browns.
I told you.
Yeah.
The year that they didn't have him, things went south quick, and I'm not saying because of him.
Right.
But I can tell you from covering spring training and going out there the next year, I got there and I'm like, wow, did everybody just get a big bonus?
I
and I
understand
interviewed everybody, and everybody was like, wow, everybody was excited to go.
Right.
And everybody to a man said it's so good to have Hedgie
I
back.
understand why they
do
sign
it.
him.
And I'm with you too.
But
we
Three
can't let
more.
them off the hook because that's the only thing they
Right.
do.
When that's the only move,
Yes,
it's frustrating.
you need a guy like Hedgie, but
Yeah.
you also need talent.
Yes.
3 more. Hard Pressure says Kevin is using smoke and mirrors to try and get us to believe Dylan could be an NFL starter. David Walker says, what's up, guys? Love the show. I'm a Panthers fan, but I think they should fire everybody. Hire Louis Riddick as GM, Deion Sanders as head coach, start Shador next year, keep Jim Schwartz, bring in Leftwich, and build a more competitive team.
I don't agree with that.
And then last but not least, where is it? I had to find up. Believeland fan said prayers up for Bernie on a speedy recovery and finding a
Yeah,
job.
man.
Well said, yeah.
He already posted an update this morning.
Yeah, he's been texting us.
He's been going
make sure
through
you
it,
guys
man.
are
Prayers
keeping
up,
Bernie
Is
man.
he on with us tomorrow, or he's not going on? He's not going to be able to come on tomorrow, right?
As far as I know, he's coming on.
Oh,
Oh, I wouldn't plan on it.
no.
Yeah, I wouldn't plan on it.
It's above my head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll hear more, but
Yeah,
We love you, Bernie.
yeah, Bernie, we're thinking about you, brother. We're he's still waiting to get that kidney.
Yeah, man. It's been I've been
Thoughts
thinking
and
about
prayers
that,
for
man.
Bernie. We'll see you guys in overtime. Peace.